Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The Blue Jackets put a halt to a 4-game slide last night in Seattle. Charlie Coyle's shootout goal pushed the Jackets over the Kraken 2-1. Adam Fantilli's second-period equalizer was the only goal until the shootout. Jet Greaves had 23 saves in the win. Jackets are back at Nationwide tomorrow night hosting the Edmonton Oilers. In college hoops, Ohio State's men's squad is 3-0. Buckeyes beat App State 75-73. Brandon Knoll led OSU with 17 points. The Buckeyes are back at the Shot on Sunday hosting Notre Dame at 12:30. In college football last night, Ohio University lost at Western Michigan 17-13. Kent State won at Akron 42-35. And Ohio State retained the top spot in the college football playoff. The committee released their second rankings last night. Indiana's 2, Texas A&M is 3, Alabama is 4. This update is sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Mark Levy's office at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. Or visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy, Austin Ward. My good buddy, Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Tom Barry here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only 2 guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a First Friday Miracle edition of the program. Bo, the boys with you for the next 3. We'll do a little higher, lower coming up at 10 o'clock. 10:30, Jake Trotter, ESPN, going to drop by his take on what he saw last night from the college football playoff rankings. It is a Hey Guys First Friday. Get your questions into the fellas at 971-BFS and in the YouTube chat. They will take care of you on that side of things there. Winner there gets that $50 gift card to our great friends at High Bank, who, by the way, won best vodka in the world a couple of days ago. So you could scoop up some of that as well, do the distillery tour as well on that side of thing. 11:30, Mike Petraglia on the Cincinnati Bengals. And, of course, we will finish the show with your officially endorsed on this fine First Friday. This is an actual conversation that we had on the way to school. Every day I take the 13-year-old and the 11-year-old NBC and Beamsy to school. And they were discussing their day a little bit. And they were discussing how hard they were trying in their soccer or whatever the heck it is. And it was something about gym class. And Beamsy said, I have gym class 5th period and it sucks. And then NBC said, well, I have it 1st period and it's great. And I said, why would you want gym 1st period? Like, I would want it at the end. I would want something to look forward to at the end. He's like, well, it's an easy way to start your day. And I said, yeah, but you're all sweaty then for the rest of the day. And this is the exact quote. Dad, who sweats in gym class? And then it occurred to me. They live in a world that I am unfamiliar, of which I am unfamiliar. So I am so damn old that all the way through middle school, we had PE every day. PE was every day. Like it wasn't once a week or twice. Like these kids have it like twice a week. We had it every day. And you would go to gym, you would participate in an activity, you would sweat, then you would shower, and then you would go about your day. And you'd finish the rest of your day. In high school, a high school football coach / athletic director / history teacher taught a class called Advanced PE, God bless him, which is the greatest class in the history of the world, which basically was last period of the day, let's just screw around with the football coach and play basketball, or we would play indoor football, arena football in the gym, pickleball, tennis, golf, all of these things. We'd lift, and then you just go to practice afterwards. When did gym become extinct? When did we get to the point where, like, we don't sweat in gym class? Like, Bake, you and I are closer to age. Reese is the youngest of the 3 of us. Were you a sweat in gym class guy?
Yeah, I mean, I remember wanting to dominate everything, whether it was floor hockey or badminton or tennis or kickball or dodgeball or
doesn't matter.
used to have like the military competitions where you did a pull-up, how many you
damn
could
right
do,
you
or
did.
you did the hang where you just hold the chin up as long as you can. And yeah, absolutely.
The physical fitness test.
For sure. Climbing the rope. Did you ever have to do that?
Of course we had rope. Now, they took the ropes down shortly after my youngest brother left. They took the ropes down in the gym.
Someone might fall.
It's a long way up there. So now we would take them out and swing on them all over the gym and have the time of our lives until we got in trouble. And maybe that's why they took them down. I don't know. But yes, you would climb the rope. Now, Reese, you're younger. Did you have sweat in gym class?
Not really. Gym was an elective in high school.
How about middle school?
You played games. There wasn't any structure to it.
So that's when it switched.
Yeah. It was come on in, we'll throw the dodgeball.
There's the
a little bit.
generational switch.
And I do remember in middle school there was less and less people that did anything during gym class. You kind of just stood around. And if a dodgeball hit you, and you would just stand around in another place.
Reese, you're about probably like 15 years younger than me, I think, something like that.
Okay.
I would say. So that's the generational swap. That's when it happened. It happened right in there. Somewhere in there, somebody said, we don't need to do this every day. Or we don't need to, like it wasn't like it was a hard A. Like all you had to do was try and you got an A. But it was graded. And you did have to participate. And there were kids who didn't want to participate. And for guys like me, it was like my way to get back on the kids who were really good at algebra. Like this was my chance. I could finally be good at something. Like, fine, you're great in calculus. I'm proud of you. Well, I'm pretty damn good at pickleball.
Reese, did you ever have, since we're going down this road, did you ever have home ec class? Like, did you in middle school bake stuff and sew stuff?
Yes, it was a life skills is what they called it at Hastings.
Okay.
And I remember I made challah bread that was burnt.
Yeah, we had.
I was really bad at
home ec.
that. Could not sew. Made a pretty good cutting board. Remember that. But yeah, those classes got fewer and fewer in terms of offered classes that would be offered, and then they got less and less necessary for a general high school curriculum. Because I think it was my brother's grade or maybe the grade before his where you started going to community college or the AP became IB, or there was both of them, but you could take those classes on top of your other part of your regular curriculum, and then people would go to Columbus State for classes.
This is from Quiz.
That became more of the norm.
Quiz hit me up. His brother's a health PE teacher in Florida. He can only make the kids dress in T-shirts and shorts, but cannot make them exercise. They can do whatever they want.
Then what's the point? What are we doing?
Then why do it? Like then at that point, what is the point? Like how do you reach kids if they don't have to do it? Like a kid can't do that in any other class, right?
I feel like
you
we
can't
got
just
too
show
much
up and be like, you can't make me do that. Well, yes, I can. I'm the teacher. We're going to play tag. You're it. Like, geez.
That's singling people out, Bo.
I guess we've gotten soft. And I know Tress is trying to do this, right? He's trying to do a physical fitness thing that he's trying to bring back like a couple weeks ago. He's trying to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and Teddy Ginn were running around the state getting kids fit.
Yeah, I think it's really important, man. I do. And I know that this is what we do. We do sports talk radio, and if you listen regularly, you know how active that my kids are in the sports. I don't make them do it. They want to do it. And I'm glad that they do. And I think there are a billion life lessons in sports that you can't get anywhere else. I think you have to learn how to row in the same direction. You have to work with people who aren't from your sometimes socioeconomic group that maybe not look like you. I always thought when James was doing the show, when people would say to like NFL players, well, what do you know about this? I don't know that there's a bigger melting pot than an NFL locker room.
Mm-hmm.
That's every type of person has to all row in the same direction that comes from a million different backgrounds, races, beliefs, all of it. And they all have to row in the same direction for good of team. And I just think there's some real value in that. And is this a big deal where you should have to have, physical education every day? I don't know if it's an everyday thing. Maybe we just did it too much when we were kids. I don't know. But I also think like this notion of being incredulous, like who sweats in gym class, blew my mind. Just blew my mind that this is the way people think now. And it was wild. Now, Beamsy, who's 11, he's a little bit more innocent. And he was like, well, I'm trying to win a championship in soccer. And I said, okay, well, that's at least good. You can go ahead and at least you're putting in that effort in fifth period, whatever it is. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just the latest example of me getting old and the realities of how much things have changed. But I think that's the gap between us and Reese. That's when it happened.
I feel like the scene in gosh, why did my mind just blank me here? Old School, or no, Wedding Crashers. Excuse me. The scene in Wedding Crashers, where Owen Wilson's character goes and meets Will Ferrell's character.
Oh yeah,
he screams at Mom, the meatloaf, and he's like, I never know what she's doing back there. Like, what are they doing in school? I don't know what they're doing anymore.
I don't know what they do. I don't know. NBC texted me in the middle of basketball practice yesterday. I said, why do you have your phone?
While he was on the court?
You're an hour in. What are you doing? What are you doing on your phone, man? What the hell is going on up there? Look, we are week 2 into the college football playoff rankings. There isn't too much right now to be too up in arms about, but there are some trends that are starting to develop. We will take a look at the bracket as if it were to start this weekend, take a look at some of those trends that are starting to develop. We will get into that coming up next. We're off and running on a First Friday Miracle Edition. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Around here, it's all or nothing. And nobody has more all-wheel drive choices than Toyota. Now through December 1st, get 4.75 APR financing on any remaining new 25 RAV4 or RAV4 hybrid. Or lease a new gas-powered RAV4 LE for $289 a month for 39 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
James Laurinaitis here from my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville, or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
Things are going to be busy between now and the end of the year. You got holiday gatherings, school functions for the kids, families are getting together. I know. Hey, it's Timmy Hall, and the last thing you want to worry about this holiday season is whether your roof is going to make it through another Ohio winter. One call to Victor's Home Solutions, my guys, to schedule that free 21-point roof inspection will put your mind at ease, and you want to have a peaceful mind. A highly trained roof inspector will carefully examine every inch of that roof, checking the 21 most common areas of roofing failure. Then they go over their results with you and discuss your options going forward. Most of the time, problems can be fixed with a minor repair, but if it's time for a new roof, Victor's offers money-saving discounts and financing terms to make paying easy. And don't forget, they're so confident in their skilled installers, they offer a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install. So call or go online and schedule the free 21-point roof inspection today. 866-VICTORS or online at victors.com.
You know, most people will agree with this. Life is a lot better without pain and more comfort. Hey, it's Anthony. I used to buy the over-the-counter insoles thinking that just the cushion itself would solve everything. It didn't. So I finally got serious about support. I went to the Good Feet store where I was personally fitted for arch supports. I started feeling relief, more stability, and stuff stopped aching. My lower back felt better. I don't care whether you're an athlete or you're retired. Get greater comfort and confidence from personally fit arch supports from the Good Feet store. That's because their arch supports are designed to align your body from the feet up, and they can help provide relief from pain and discomfort like it has for me. They have an expert staff trained to understand your specific needs, and they recommend the best solutions. It's simple. Just stop by the Good Feet store at one of their convenient locations on Polaris Parkway or Stringtown Road in Grove City, or, of course, learn more, a lot more, at goodfeet.com.
Did you know Austin and Burham host a show at Roosters? And did you know that Roosters is giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences? Tickets, sideline passes, trips to a postseason game, and more. Register today at roosterswings.com.
November is an ideal month to plant trees in Ohio because the soil is still warm, which reduces the transplant stress. Plus, trees require less water in November than in the heat of the summer, allowing roots to grow in the cooler temperatures. When planting trees, keep these tips in mind. Select trees that are zone hardy for where you plan to plant. Avoid planting trees that produce slip hazards like fruits and nuts close to sidewalks. And don't plant large trees near or under utility lines. To learn more about the November tree planting, contact an ISA certified arborist near you by going to trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
At the Ohio Lottery, we make Keno fun, your way. That means every few minutes across Ohio, 20 out of 80 possible numbers are randomly picked. And if some of the numbers you picked match, voila, you're a winner. Keno doesn't require you to know a single thing about sports ball or overs, unders, pluses, minuses, or lines, or whatever else. Keno is as simple as, did some of my numbers match? They did? Great. You just raked in some dough. There are more than 20 hours of Keno draws every day and thousands of places to play statewide. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Mostly sunny and warmer today, but we still will have that wind, so it'll feel like we're in the 40s, but we are on our way up with temperatures. For tonight, though, still mostly clear skies overnight, which will allow lows to drop right around the freezing mark. And then for Thursday, a lot less wind and continued sunshine with highs in the low 50s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
During this 10-second promo, Rothman will lose money gambling on something.
People like you come here and blow the family nest egg that built this town.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. Find us on YouTube. Search WBNS Radio and you can see what Bo looks like. But only if you subscribe. This is Bishop and Friends.
This struck me quite funny, and I immediately, and maybe this tells me all I know about how old I'm getting. And Jim, I don't mean this as in that vein. Jim tweeted me on the X, and he said, age 65, gym class was full on Survivor games every day. We had to shower before and after going to class. Dodgeball, pinball were wars where lots of kids got hit in the head. Fact. It was Lord of the Flies. I'll tell you, when you played hockey on the gym floor with the plastic sticks and the puck, that was just hatchet. That was just bloody shins is all that was. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're better for it. Maybe this is better. I don't know. But that's exactly right. It was survival. We played indoor arena football where you would tackle in the gym. You play football in the gym and tackle. 3 plays to score from the free throw line to the other free throw line.
I mean, why not? You played tackle in the street when you got home, so...
Who gets hurt? Who gets
careful.
hurt with it?
The pylon's the mailbox. If you run into that, you're in trouble.
Oh, man. College football playoff week 2 poll was out. You're quickly reminded of just how insane this is that they do this every week. This could easily be a once every 3 week thing, but of course everything's for money and everything's for ratings, and so they try and stretch it into an hour. They did have something that I don't recall them having last year, or maybe I just tuned out before it ever got to this point last year. They have a playoff predictor now. So they put the top 25 teams in, and then Reese and McElroy and Boog and Joey put in, what if this happens to a team? Then the playoff predictor, which was built to simulate how the committee will think and react to losses or wins, will spit out what would happen the percentage-wise of them making the playoff if this happened. Okay? So just think about that. They have a playoff predictor that they built to get inside the heads of a committee, which is arbitrarily ranking teams based mostly what appears to be on eye test. So that's the system that we have right now. That's where we're at. So at the end of the show yesterday, they would put in like, well, what if this team won out? And then where would their percentages go? And the reality is, and this is something we learned all the way back in 2014, the folks in that room on that last Saturday night into the Sunday morning where this thing is spit out, they're like Teddy KGB with the pot. They can do whatever they want. They can do whatever they want with this thing, and they can justify it in any way that they want to justify it, because this is an entirely subjective process. If I'm looking for trends, it feels like the ACC is in a really tough spot. And I was on with Brother Bone and Nephew Tyvis this morning. Before I went on air with them, I was talking to Dylan, and he was trying to cook up ways where an ACC team would be left out entirely. And I went, well, wait, hold on a second. The winner of that league's getting in. And then he goes, no, it's just 5 highest ranked conference champions. So there would be a scenario where if the ACC completely implodes, that potentially James Madison and USF, theoretically, could get in over an ACC champ. So in other words, like Duke right now, and he used this, I'm going to give him full credit for it. I never thought of it in that way. And you do have to do a little bit of mental gymnastics to get there. But right now, Duke has 1 conference loss, but is 5-4 overall. They're 5-4 overall, but they have 1 conference loss. There is a scenario where Duke could win the ACC with 4 losses and be left out.
Is
for
that
James
true?
Madison? He said it.
I don't think that's true. I thought it was the 4 powers in the group of 5.
Yeah, I think he's taking that highest ranked conference champions thing just a little too much. Because I don't see any scenario they're leaving out the ACC champion. Like,
I don't either.
That precedent that's the least likely thing to happen. And I can guarantee you the ACC champion's making the college football playoff, regardless of whatever doom cycling scenario you want to throw out there, regardless of the mental gymnastics you want to try to land.
Yeah.
They're just not doing that.
So it's not, he's right. It's not the Power 4. It's the 5 highest ranked conference champions.
Technically, yes. He's right.
So he's right on that. But these are the mental gymnastics that you're trying to do with this stuff. And you're trying to look for trends that maybe mean something by the time we get here. The thing that they spent a lot of time on this yesterday, towards the end. A lot of time on a team that we talked about a lot on Monday's show, USC. If the Big Ten is going to get 4 in, the 2 chances they have, one I don't really want to talk about, and the other one is USC. And I did think it was pretty important that they didn't pull Iowa out of the rankings, that finally Iowa got some respect.
That was interesting.
I thought that was very good. Iowa lost at home to Oregon and stayed in. If you're saying to yourself, well, what did they do with Tennessee? Because Tennessee is always the SEC equivalent of Iowa. Tennessee went up 2 spots despite not playing. They moved up 2 spots without playing. But Iowa stayed in. So that helps USC in a very, very big way. And I know you're not a fan of them, Bake, but here's the reality on USC. They are Iowa at home this week. If they win that, now all of a sudden you are sitting at 8-2 at Oregon and UCLA. Would a close loss at Oregon keep them alive? And I think it might. And I think the reason for that is I think you are going to get absolute and utter chaos in the Southeastern Conference over the next 3 weeks. I think you're going to have a bunch of SEC teams with 3 losses. And you're definitely going to have SEC teams. I mean, who can even navigate it with 1? There's only 4 teams that have a chance to navigate it with 1 loss. And that's Ole Miss, who looks in sweet spot. Ole Miss is going to host a playoff game. They play Florida, then they play another, and then they finish with Mississippi State, obviously. Do they just have Florida and Mississippi State?
Yeah, I think that's it for them.
So they have 2 games, and then Ohio State's got 3, and then they got 2 games in the next 3 weeks. That's it. And they don't. Ohio State is going to play 4 games in the time Ole Miss is going to play 2. But Ole Miss they're in the catbird seat here. They're going to be in a great shape going forward. They're going to host a playoff game, and they look in. I think Texas A&M is in. They're 9-0. They are not going to lose. They play Texas, obviously, in their last game. They play Samford they're off this week. Then they play Samford, then Texas. So Texas A&M, at worst, is going to be 11-1. Mm-hmm. They're in.
Bo, I don't think the SEC is going to be as crazy as we think, and I don't see where we're getting a bunch of 3-loss SEC teams here.
Okay, well, let's play it out.
Because
someone's got to play A&M in the championship game.
Which I think that would be Bama right now if they won out. If Bama beats Oklahoma, they beat Auburn, which I think they would be.
Yes.
What about Eastern Illinois? You think they would?
So then A&M Bama would play for the SEC title. Mm-hmm. You're saying Georgia wins out. So Georgia beats Texas, beats Georgia Tech. They're in.
I think they do.
Okay.
And here's why I think that. I think they get Texas at home this weekend.
Yeah.
If it was the other way around, I think Texas might beat them.
Maybe. It really doesn't matter for the purpose of our conversation, though. Texas A&M, Bama, Georgia, and Ole Miss, to me, all feel in. because I do think Georgia will beat Texas, and I do think Alabama will beat Oklahoma.
That's who I've got.
I agree.
So I think those 4 are in. But then Texas will have 3 losses. Oklahoma will have 3 losses. Everybody else already has 3 losses. So this is going to come down to, can Vanderbilt navigate Kentucky and at Tennessee?
Say it again.
Yeah, that's right. Can Vanderbilt navigate Kentucky at home and at Tennessee? If they do so, they would be 10-2, and I do think they would get in over USC. But if they lose, you're going to get a 4th Big Ten team in, and it's going to be one with 3 losses.
So I think I could see it. I don't think that's happening because what the committee has done with Utah. I think the committee loves Utah, and Utah is sitting there right now, probably not playing in the Big 12 championship. That'll probably be a rematch, I believe, of Texas Tech and BYU. And if Texas Tech wins that, I think Utah sitting there with 2 losses. I just think where the committee placed them, and we talked about that last week.
Crazy.
The committee likes Utah. I think that kicks out a 4th Big Ten team and kicks out any 3-loss SEC team.
I think when you start comparing resumes between USC, Vanderbilt, and Utah, I think I like USC more than Utah.
I understand. But that's USC. We're talking about a USC team that runs the table here.
No. I'm saying even if they lose close to Oregon.
You think a 3-loss USC over
that's
Utah?
going to be the conversation, because if Vanderbilt loses to Tennessee and they pick up that 3rd loss, if Vanderbilt goes 10-2, they're going. They're going. If they go 10-2, then they're going. Like that's what's in play for Clark Lee's team, in my opinion, that if they run it, they're going to go.
Also, the idea that Miami, that right now has got 2 losses in conference play, is sitting there as the lone ACC representative. That does lend to Dylan's chaos theory, but I just think there's too much. There's still 3 weeks left to go in the regular season plus the conference championship game, and Miami's not going to be involved for any of it. And they've got Pittsburgh, the final game of the season.
They need Pitt to beat Notre Dame.
Yeah.
That would be because we're putting Notre Dame in. We're assuming Notre Dame's winning out. They have no margin for error. 3-loss USC versus 3. Now, I know Notre Dame beat them, but then Miami beat Notre Dame. That's when you start to go Pepe Sylvia. You start correcting red dots.
I mean, if Notre Dame loses this thing, I think that's the domino that creates chaos.
Notre Dame allows in that 5th for me SEC team, and what could be a Pittsburgh Panthers ACC championship run starts against Notre Dame, then they've got Georgia Tech and Miami. So there's 3 teams in the top 15.
I'll tell you what would be fascinating from the USC perspective is if they went out and go 10-2 and Oregon's 10-2.
Yeah.
Then I think they're both getting in.
I think that does open for the extra Big Ten team.
That gets you to 4 pretty easily. But I don't think USC can win at Oregon. But if they could, then they're all 10-2. Then I think they're getting in.
Yeah, and I think I think there's 2 paths for the Big Ten to getting 4. I don't think either of those paths involves a 3-loss team. I think it involves the scenario that you guys just talked about and one that we are not going to mention.
We'll hear from the committee in terms of, and by the way, Mark Rhodes has got a lot going on outside of this. No questions on everything that he's got going on as the athletic director at Baylor. But he did have some comments about the ACC. We will get to that. And Ryan Day spent a great deal of his time yesterday discussing recruiting. Why, I do wonder. We'll have some theories on that in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
Hi, this is Max with Buckeye Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Winter will be here before you know it, and that means it's time to get your heating and plumbing systems maintained. Our True Comfort membership is designed to keep things in tip-top shape. Thank you for letting us keep your home comfortable and plumbing worry-free. And when you need us,
call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
Feeling stuck on your own 10-yard line in the career game? Maybe it's time to just go for IT. My Computer Career has the game plan to score a rewarding new IT career in months. Whether you're a rookie, a breakout career changer, or a military veteran ready to serve. Why spend years chasing a college degree when you can fast-track your future in IT starting now? Take your mark, get set, go for IT. Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Give me a mountain with lots to do. Give me the sunshine, give me a dew. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and a cool, refreshing mountain dew. So give me my blueberries, give me a dew.
Grab some friends and an ice-cold Mountain Dew today.
Mountain Dew.
Does your vehicle need maintenance, but you don't have time? Krieger Ford's got you covered. Enjoy our convenient pickup and delivery service, or we come to you with our mobile service van. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Schedule your appointment today only at KriegerFord.com.
With business banking, Tel Ohio Credit Union takes it personally. It's why they are the #1 SBA lender among Ohio credit unions. You are a member, not a number. That's the Tel Ohio difference. Visit telhio.org/business.
Certain restrictions apply. Tel Ohio is open to all in central and southwestern Ohio. Federally insured by NCUA.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, here's what's up on a First Friday Miracle edition of the program. Your #1 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes will play UC Irvine 7:30 Saturday night here at the Horseshoe. The Buckeyes 32.5-point favorites over the Anteaters in a game that we're all very, very excited to see. It's UCLA. Wait a sec. It's UCLA? Like Carson Schlesinger? UCLA? Like Cade McNown, UCLA? J.J. Stokes, UCLA?
Josh Rosen, UCLA.
Josh Rosen, UCLA. It's UCLA.
Deshaun
it's not
Foster?
Irvine.
We're in L.A.
Not this Saturday. They're in Columbus. Unfortunately for them.
The great. It's not the Anteaters. Oh, I saw 32.5, and I thought it must be like how the SEC plays those cupcakes before they play the rivalry game. It's not that. No, this is UCLA. John Wooden. Pauley Pavilion, the Rose Bowl, UCLA, 32.5. What utter nonsense. How does this happen at UCLA, guys? How does UCLA become this? I mean, they hired Chip Kelly. Like, how long was Chip there? 4 years? 3 or 4 years? Dorian Thompson-Robinson? He got Dante Moore to UCLA. He started games for UCLA. How does it get to this? They paid all that money for Nico Amaliava?
He was there for 6 years, Chip was.
6 years. I mean, I
would not have guessed that.
I would have had 4.
Yeah.
This is an example. This is something that you've never had to deal with around here. It's an example of most schools. And UCLA is not USC historically. Not at all. Not in the same vicinity of that. They're not. But there's a great deal of pride and greatness that has come through that program. And for them to bottom out like this after splurging on Nico and to have it all just fall apart the way that it has, it's pretty stupefying. It really is. And them coming in here, 32.5, guys. Is that the biggest since Grambling?
It keeps going up.
I know. It was 30.5 on Sunday. Is this the biggest spread since Grambling? Ohio wasn't this big, was it?
Purdue got to 30.5, correct. Ohio was, I believe, 29.5.
Yeah.
So this is the biggest spread of the year then?
Yep.
Because was there even a line on Grambling because of
No, because it was...
We made one up.
I think one came out, Bo, if I remember correctly, because I remember there wasn't one, so we picked it at 49.5. And then I believe later that afternoon, it came out at like 52.5. but it was a late line. We did not get one until late Friday afternoon.
Okay. Can you imagine? So the great Jerry Lucas is going to be the bell ringer. 85.
Gosh.
Jerry Lucas. Buckeye royalty. There are few things that were cooler than when they honored their championship team. They won it in 60. Won the national title in 60, or was it 61?
I believe it's 60.
I think you're right.
60. So 2010, Jerry Lucas, John Havlicek, Bob Knight were here honoring that team. And if you could have auctioned off an hour with those three, I don't even know what the number would have got. But to be able to just be in their vicinity and ask them questions was among the coolest things ever. I mean, it's all time, man. That is all time stuff. So that is absolutely, he's a top 50 player of all time, 2-time consensus National College Player of the Year, 3-time consensus first team All-American. He's the best basketball player ever played here.
Bo, I was thinking about this since we went here. So my heyday of Ohio State basketball is Jimmy Jackson.
Yeah.
Be my all-time. It's my all-time favorite team, those early 90s Buckeyes teams. But I remember hearing about the history and my dad talking about Jerry Lucas and John Havlicek and those guys. Like when your kids, if they think of Ohio State basketball, who is that? And like we're getting to a point where Jimmy Jackson to them is Havlicek and Lucas to me.
Well, thanks. Now I really feel old.
Yeah, and I don't like it either. But I've been thinking about that recently, like because I think it was because of the Jordan talk. And like, do kids nowadays know Jordan outside of the brand? And
no, not like they would. I mean, like for my oldest for NBC, it would be Aaron Kraft.
Yeah,
would be what's still in his head. Like I remember, he was like 3, but I don't think he has actual memories of it. I just think that he's seen photos, and like Aaron would do like videos for him when we were trying to potty train him and stuff when I was doing the coaches shows. So like we would do those type of things. And so I think he remembers that stuff. I remember taking him to Kraft Senior Day and stuff. So, but no, I don't know what that, I mean, I think that's what Bruce Thornton's trying to be with his start, right? I mean, like, but what's different is you have to get to this level to have this type of reverence. That's what Jimmy did. Jimmy had this type of reverence. Like for another generation, it was Scooney and Mike Redd. For another generation, it was Connolly Oden. For another generation, it was Sullinger and those guys.
Evan Turner.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's it. Even D'Angelo. I mean, like, NBC definitely remembers the year with D'Angelo, which was magic. I mean, that was awesome. So, yeah, there's that stuff that's out there. But can you imagine telling Jerry Lucas that UCLA's coming in here and Ohio State's favored by 32.5?
It'd be shocking, to say the least, how far that program's fallen. Yeah.
Remembers Dick Vermeil upsetting number 1 Ohio State in the Rose Bowl.
That's right. That's right.
That's probably the line he would give to the team. Like, he remembers Rose Bowls where he said, UCLA, like, who've they played? Their record stinks. Well, be careful. It's just, it doesn't translate. Like,
no.
We're going to talk a lot before the Michigan game about records and how they're not going to mean anything for that one. But this is the same beast it was last week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the same game. It's
just a more capable quarterback, I think.
Yeah, I think you have your attention because of that, because we saw what he did here last year, and so you have the attention. But I think it is alarming that number just keeps getting bigger and bigger, which tells you a little something about it, that it's all the way up to 32.5. Go ahead, Vic.
I was just going to say, and it's why we got no questions about him yesterday at the press conference.
No, it's not interesting. It's not interesting. Last week wasn't interesting. Rutgers isn't interesting. We are comparing Ohio State against themselves. They're comparing themselves against themselves. Ryan Day is trying to do this dance with them, and so far it's worked, where he is coaching them hard every single week as if they are playing the Michigan game every week. And they're buying into it. Now, you're buying into that because of the leadership, because of the culture, because your best players, we're very lucky in this sense with this football team. The best players on this team appear to be some of the best dudes. Like Caleb Downs is a great dude. Sonny Styles is a great dude. Like there are just people who are high character, high talent individuals that they have curated and developed. And so there isn't any sort of let off. And I think if anything, like if you would have just let them play like your normal game against Purdue, that's 56-7. I mean, they took the foot off, right? I mean, they're running gimmick plays. We're handing it to tight ends inside the 5. Like that was not a sense of urgency game. Carnell Tate could have played in that game if it's the Michigan game. So this is what this has become. And I think this is the thing that we won't know any of this until we get to Ann Arbor. But how does Julian Sand respond after getting punched in the mouth? We saw him get punched in the mouth in the Texas game, and he responded quite well. That was a long time ago, and he gets better every single week. But we really haven't seen this team, and Julian's the quarterback, so he's the focal point. When is the last time we saw this team have real adversity? I mean, the fumble, CJ's fumble at half going into Penn State, and it may have been 17-14, but it felt like 28-14 to me.
And the way they came out in the second half, you kind of forgot about it.
Done. So, yeah, that's their job. That's the job of Ryan and his staff, is to sharpen. It's crazy. The practices at this point in conference game are the games. That's really it. That's when you get your real challenges, is the competition that they're getting in practice. They're not going to get it on Saturday. They're not. They are overwhelming to this UCLA team that's coming in here on Saturday. Buckeye basketball played. That's right. They played last night at home against App State. The Jackets played way on the West Coast against Seattle. We will go over what we learned from those two things coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're over 50, it's likely that you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments have, in most cases, made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices in the tri-state area to serve you.
Dormar, you're kind of hero.
When your furnace or air conditioner is broke, we come out that same day. Dormar, home the Tin Man.
I need a small order of sheet metal to repair something in the shop. It's not much, but can you help me out?
At Metal Supermarkets, no order is too small.
Wait, really?
Yep.
What about small home projects?
Yep.
For a car I'm working on?
Yep.
Any kind of metal?
Yep.
Cut to size?
Yep.
With no minimum order?
Yep.
How about 1,000 cut pieces of aluminum flat bar?
Yep. Choose from over 8,000 types, shapes, and grades of metal in any quantity you need. And yes, we're serious. Any metal, any size, ready fast. Locally owned on Wilson Road.
When you're ready to sell your car, another reason to choose Hinder Motor Company is the easy, fast, fair, and hassle-free way to sell. This is Justin Hinderer. We pay top dollar for your vehicle, whatever the make or model, and no purchase is necessary. Consider trading and get even more toward your next vehicle. Drive in today and leave with cash or get a great deal. See why it's a pleasure doing business. Just visit HinderMotorCompany.com.
Thanksgiving is about family, gratitude, and connection, not spending hours in the kitchen. This year, let Bob Evans make the meal so you can make the memories. Bob Evans Farmhouse Feasts have everything you need, from slow-roasted turkey and hickory smoked ham to all the classic sides and pies you love. Each feast comes packed cold, ready to heat, serve, and enjoy together at home. Perfect for gatherings of any size. Order yours today for delivery or curbside pickup at bobevans.com, because Thanksgiving is better together. From Bob Evans.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan.
Looking to get your roof or siding replaced this fall? Call the company that delivers an excellent customer experience every time. Newman Roofing. Don't wait. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Dormar, you're pilot hero.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Do you want to walk, play pickleball, and enjoy other fun activities to stay healthy, but you can't because of bad feet? Hi, this is Mike, and the Good Feet store wants to help.
I just had difficulty walking. I tried them on in the store, and my foot felt so much better.
Do you keep buying new shoes and inserts with little or no relief?
I tried all kinds of shoes. It was the arch supports that made the difference from the Good Feet store.
Don't let bad feet, knees, or back problems get in the way of staying healthy and having fun.
Thanks to the Good Feet store, I bowl in 3 nights a week.
Get back to doing what you love. At the Good Feet store, we'll personally fit you at high-quality arch supports to maximize your comfort. Stop in the Good Feet store or book your free fitting at goodfeet.com. Visit the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway near the Polaris Mall or on Stringtown Road at Grove City.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
It's almost Football Friday. All play and no work.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football, The Fan. Our top men are working on everything except this show.
We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
I feel like this whole show is just Bo's getting old. So get done with dinner last night, and Tuesdays and Thursdays are typically the nights when we can actually have family dinner. So we get done with it, and I go put on the TV, and I'm looking for something to watch, and the college football playoff thing's happening from 7 to 8, so that was going on, and I was kind of keeping an eye on that. And then I was looking for, all right, there's some interesting college basketball games to watch, and I was really interested in seeing Kentucky-Louisville just because I know how much they hate each other. And that game was coming up at 8 o'clock. It was after the selection. And I thought, well, I think don't the Buckeyes play tonight? And so then I go to look for it, and I can't find it. And so where was this? Where was this game last night?
The Plus, Big Ten Plus.
Big Ten Plus again. Mm-hmm. So the apparatus there is I pay to watch the game.
I think if you still have cable, you've got Big Ten
I don't.
alternate channels. You do not anymore.
It's not. It does not do the alternate.
Oh,
Big
no,
Ten
I don't
Plus
have it.
is not on. You have to pay. I believe it's a $12.99 a month subscription to
Good
Big Ten
God.
Plus.
Of course.
How much can they possibly be making on that?
Bo, I'm not sure, but there may or may not be a account that Fish paid for if you would ever want to watch that game.
I mean, honestly, let's get that in the break. Let's get that on the break and see if I can get that locked in. But at the same time, like this is just, and I saw Scotty Vegas's tweet of being able to watch, Ohio State basketball games on Channel 10. Mike Gleason on the call, like those type of games.
It's the best.
Like you are doing it. I get it. Oh, the fans. You are holding them hostage at every possible turn to turn a buck. And it's exhausting. This is Ohio State, Appalachian State, for God's sakes. This is not a game that anybody is going to sprint out and pay $12.99 to watch. It's not. I mean, how many lunatics are out there that are going to do that? Like, if Fish didn't do that, as much as we all love Buckeye basketball, are you going to do that for a non-conference game against App State? No, you're not. So they're going to leverage bigger games for you, and then soon enough, Big Ten Plus is going to have Ohio State. They're going to have conference games. But you're going to lose fans in the process. And it's exhausting to continue to be leveraged as a fan to spend more and more and more to just watch your team you want to watch.
The good thing is, Bo, when they take on Notre Dame this Sunday at 12:30, it will be on FS1. So hopefully everybody has Fox
And that's
Sports
brilliant.
1.
I think anytime you can run college basketball head-to-head with the NFL, you got to do it.
Yeah, I understand that.
That's really smart.
I will say this about the Big Ten Plus, too. So I had this game on last night for the first half hour of it. And then I hopped on the YouTube show with Maddie and AR. The beginning of the game was gross. Neither team was playing well. The Big Ten Plus, you don't even get good announcers. I don't know who those announcers were, but they were not quality announcers. So you're paying for subpar. You don't. There's no commercials, so they just turn the sound off and just have a wide shot of the game during commercials, at least how I was watching it. And the court, I think the court probably in person looks really good. On TV last night, now this could also be the lighting at the shot. I don't know. I thought my TV was dirty, and it just looked dark with that court.
It looked dark last night.
To me, it looked dark.
So
like
Friday...
not the court, like everything. Everything looked dark. I thought my screen was like dusty and dirty or something. That's the whole thing. And like I said, maybe that was the lighting in the shot last night. I don't know. But the court did not go well on TV for me.
Yeah, I think they're trying to do like the theater lighting, like how the Lakers have it, where like the crowd is dark and then all of the focus is on the court. So I think that part's on purpose.
That's what I thought. I forget. There's one of the two games previously. It looked similar to me. So I was like, well, they're probably just doing it for focus on the court because the stands are some of the stands are tarped off. Some of them have like a big advertisement, and then there's the crowd's probably sparse. So yeah, I think you just basketball. Don't look at anything else. For now,
I think the court's a tough watch.
It was ambitious.
It's really bright.
Released renderings of it. It was like this could work. And then I think the in-person experience from those who have been to the shot with it say it's great. But yeah, I'm interested to see what FS1 because they'll have better cameras, better production value. How if it all makes the jump.
Yeah. Yeah, Sunday's the one you're going to get a read on this team. I watched quite a bit of Kentucky and Louisville last night, and those two teams can go. They have incredible length, and they go. And I know that's what Deebs is trying to get to is let's play tempo, let's score. That was an awesome game. Kentucky Louisville was awesome, and I realize you can't play those type of games all the time. That's an in-state rival. They completely hate each other. You got to have these type of games in college basketball. But I look forward to Ohio State playing in one of those so I can get a feel for where we're at. Because it's hard to know in these, where you're at.
Well, where was that game last night?
It was at Yum Center, and Donovan Mitchell was there.
I saw that Mitchell was there. Okay.
The place was buzzing.
Kentucky, Louisville at Rupp. Feels like something I need to do before, because I've been to a game at Rupp, and it's just ridiculous. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And something like that would be just to another level.
Rupp is to college basketball what Ohio Stadium is to college football.
Yeah.
There's 23,000 people, and they're all in their seats, or however much it holds. They're all in their seats an hour before tip. They're ready at tip. I mean, we went to, it was Kentucky, Arkansas at noon. And the whole thing was full by 1 o'clock.
Same.
Or by 11, an hour before.
Kentucky Vanderbilt game, and same thing.
Yeah, you're like, oh, this is different. This is how they roll. Lines around the block. I mean, it was really cool. So, look, we'll find out Sunday when they take on Notre Dame, get a little bit better read on it. Jackets win last night in a shootout 2-1 at Seattle. They needed it. Had been losing for a while. I did not see this game. That's late at night for me, so I did not see that one. I'm still backwards on my clock, so I'm not seeing that type. Did you guys get into any of this?
Oh, I watched the whole thing. I was up till about 1 o'clock last night watching this. Yeah.
Come on.
I was locked in.
Well, go ahead. Pierre LeBrun.
Listen, it was great that they got the win. Jet was awesome last night. They just seem to be... It almost seems like they're in their head right now. It almost seems like this Jackets team, and there's been a lot of them over the years, is a little fragile with the mindset. So when things don't go their way, they really don't go their way because it just compounds with them.
Okay.
I think we have, though, our top line for the next 5 years, 10 years, if you're a Jackets fan, because Fantilli, Marchenko, and Voronkov are just working together. I think it's helping Fantilli a lot. He scored the lone goal for the Jackets last night. Power play goal off of a pass from Marchie. I feel bad. I owe Kirill Marchenko an apology because he was great last year, and I didn't know how much more he had to give. I said that. I was like, that might be, we keep asking for more from these young guys. We might have Marchie's ceiling here. No, we don't. He's taken it to another level this year. He is playing himself into being one of the top wingers in hockey.
So important for this team to not be under 500 coming back from that break, that trip.
Yeah.
Like just the idea that you've got Edmonton tomorrow night in a game, probably a get-back game. You lost to them over the week, or on Monday, I think it was. You have them tomorrow night at the barn. Maybe you can build off of last night's game in Seattle.
Yeah,
you could not have fallen into a hole coming back from that.
No. I thought it was important to get it. And the Fantilli point is well made out of Ubake. He's the last couple of weeks he's been on it, and that top line is pretty damn legit. We'll do a little higher, lower. Second hour of the program up next. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
1, 2, 3. Here in the Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you've hit your medical deductible, now's the time to see Dr. Mark Levy. Get a custom oral appliance that stops snoring and helps you ditch that CPAP and pay less out of pocket. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com before the year ends.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football. It's a pepper thing.
The Ohio State University Army ROTC isn't just a curriculum. It's more than just a path to a degree. For more than 150 years, we have been forging tomorrow's leaders. Here you will find your purpose, your mission, your ROTC family. At Ohio State, you're not just joining Army ROTC, you're stepping into a history of excellence that spans generations. Learn more at arotc.osu.edu. Buckeyes lead the way. Buckeyes, the 2025 football season is here, and that means 3 things: football, game day, and smooth Jameson whiskey. Whether you're catching the game at home, at your neighborhood bar, or soaking up the team spirit at a tailgate, Jameson Ginger and Lime and Ohio State Athletics are a winning combo. So cheers to making game days even better with the official whiskey of the fans. Jameson, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Taste responsibly.
Jameson Irish Whiskey, product of Ireland. 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2025, imported by John Jameson Import Company, New York, New York.
What's up? It's Matty Ice. Black Friday deals are here, and they're happening all month long at McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. Right now, you can lease a brand new 25 or 26 Chevy Trax LT for just $299 a month for 36 months, or if you prefer to finance, get it for only $329 a month for 84 months for qualified buyers. With over 20 Trax in stock, you're sure to find the perfect fit for your lifestyle. They're just a short drive north off Route 23 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Hey, y'all. It's the Rocket Roger Clemens here. Spent a lot of time pitching heat. Years later, the pain in my joints remind me of those days, but I'm not looking to sit still, and I definitely am not interested in going under the knife. That's why I chose QC Kinetics.
Not just for elite retired athletes. QC Kinetics gives everyday folks joint pain relief using regenerative treatments that work with your body to help repair joint damage.
No surgery, no long recovery, whether it's your knees, hips, shoulders, or back. My friends at QC Kinetics will help you get moving again so you can get back to doing the things you love.
QC Kinetics medical professionals will look at your x-rays or MRI to determine if you're a good candidate.
I trusted QC Kinetics to help me feel like myself again, and I'm proud to recommend them to you.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Is there anything better than a college football Saturday? Not if you're at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Join the Fan for watch parties for the games this season. Oh, you got to check out the display case of amazing autographed prizes you can win. It's beautiful. 2 massive TV walls to watch the national champs. Watch and place wagers with over 30 kiosks, contests, prizes, and live shows. Must be 21 or older to enter. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Baths R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement, and that starts with a team who brings your vision to life. Our installers aren't just skilled, they're experts.
This is who we are. This is what we do all day, every day.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsrus.com. 380-225-2284. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Don't let your insurance benefits go to waste. End the year sleeping better with Dr. Mark Levy's oral appliance. No mask, no noise, just results. Hurry, deductibles reset soon. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com today.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Ohio State maintained the top spot in the college football playoff as the committee released their second set of rankings on Tuesday. 10-0 Indiana is 2, 9-0 Texas A&M is 3, 8-1 Alabama is at 4. The 9-0 Buckeyes are 32.5-point favorites, hosting UCLA this Saturday night at 7:30. Hear from OSU's head coach tomorrow at noon on the Ryan Day radio show. In college hoops, the Ohio State men's squad improved to 3-0 with a 75-53 win over Appalachian State at the Shot. 3 Buckeyes scored in double figures, including Brandon Knoll, who led with 17 points. OSU's back at Value City on Sunday, hosting Notre Dame at 12:30. And on the ice last night in Seattle, the Blue Jackets beat the Kraken in a shootout. CBJ are back at Nationwide tomorrow night, taking on the Edmonton Oilers. This update sponsored by Germain Toyota, the best selection of new and used cars in Central Ohio. View their full selection of vehicles online at germaintoyota.net.
10 feet tall and bulletproof isn't just a saying, it's a way of life. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour here of the program on a First Friday. Still time to get your Hey Guys questions into the fellas at 971-BFS. Also in the YouTube chat. We will do it there as well. Time now, though, for a little higher or lower. Hit it, guys.
Bishop and Friends present Higher or Lower.
Sponsored by the Waterworks. Call the Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling today at 614-232-2222 or visit online at thewaterworks.com.
The second set of college football playoff rankings were out last night, shortly after 7 o'clock Eastern time. The CFP committee has just a couple weeks until they reveal their final one in December. Talked about Ohio State being at 9-0. Buckeyes maintain the top spot for the second week in a row. Indiana, they're at 2. Texas A&M at 3. Alabama's 4th. 8-1 Georgia is at 5. Texas Tech, at 9-1 is up 2 spots to number 6. Higher or lower for the Red Raiders there?
I think that this 1 through 6 is the appropriate 1 through 6. I do think that Texas Tech is a team to monitor. And I do wonder, they are 9-1. From a metric point standpoint, they're kind of out of them. They have UCF and they have West Virginia. But they will get a Big 12 championship game that right now will be a rematch for them. They have not played Cincinnati this year. Cincinnati, I think, plays BYU either this week or next. The winner of that game will play Texas Tech for the Big 12 championship game. So Texas Tech is going to have one more chance to really put it on somebody, and they're going to bury people the next 2 weeks. They're going to bury UCF. They're going to win in Morgantown, Country Roads, and all of it bigly. Can Texas Tech get to a bye situation? Can they play themselves at 12-1 into a bye? Before yesterday, I would have said no. Now I'm not so sure. I think it's very much in play that they could get into the top 4. Their only loss is without their starting quarterback at Arizona State.
I think you're right, Bo, about that they could get into that top 4 possibly. I think it would have to involve Alabama losing in the SEC championship or maybe losing to Oklahoma this week possibly. But I do think that's in play. I have no problem with the way the rankings are right now in those top 6. What I want to ask you, Bo, is what I asked AR and Maddie last night. Who do you believe the top 4 teams in the country are, just with your eye test? Like, and you could even do it like if they were, what would the lines be with Vegas? Because my question with this is Texas A&M played Texas Tech right now who are you going with in that game, and who are just the 4 best teams in the country according to your eyes?
God almighty. It's a great one. It's a great one, right? So the 2 teams that I've been most skeptical about all season long are Indiana and Texas A&M in terms of the best. Just because historically we haven't seen it. Texas A&M always blows it down the stretch. I don't think this Texas A&M is blowing it down the stretch. I do think this Texas A&M is one of the 4 best teams in the country. They've been one of the 4 most impressive teams that I've seen in the country. They haven't really been tested. Everyone's got a squirrely one. They had a squirrely one at Arkansas. But other than that, they've handled everybody that they've beaten. They've won at Notre Dame. They've got South Carolina, Samford, Texas are their next 3. So I think that they probably would be. I think their defense is that good. I think Marcel Reed is that good. So I would probably say my top 4 would be Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M. If Bama is so one-dimensional, Georgia just doesn't throw it well. I think Texas Tech might be 4. I might have Texas Tech 4 right now. I know Bama's ceiling with Simpson, and I think if Ohio State played any of those teams on a neutral field, the closest line would be Ohio State-Bama.
So you think Texas A&M is better than Bama? Because I do not. I think
their defense is better, and I think they're more two-dimensional because Marcel Reed can run it. Simpson doesn't. Bama can't run the football at all. Like, Reed gives them another level that Bama doesn't. You're going to get a better feel about Bama. Do they have Oklahoma this week?
They do.
Okay. So you're going to get a better feel for them as it stands right now. But right now, Alabama, they are one-dimensional as it gets.
It's very interesting. And
Dude,
like I said,
this is their stat line last week as a team against LSU. 26 carries for 56 yards. Their leading rusher was Daniel Hill, 7 for 21. Like, they just throw it. That's it. And not even particularly well to Ryan Williams, by the way, who's having a really disappointing second season.
It's very fair, and I think it's all going to be interesting how it shakes out here. I have no problem with the rankings.
Who do you guys have? Who do you guys have 1 through 4?
I think Ohio State is number 1, and I think they're a step above everyone. I think Alabama is next, and then I think I would go with Georgia because of how Georgia played Alabama. Maybe I'm taking both of those teams wrong. I just don't think Indiana can match up physically with those teams because they had trouble matching up physically with Penn State. Then I would have Indiana at 4, and then I think it's interesting. I don't know what I would do with Texas A&M and Texas Tech.
I have it how the committee has it as of right now. At number 7 on this, despite I think, program-defining 49-0 win over the Citadel, Ole Miss drops a spot. At number 8's Oregon. Number 9's Notre Dame. At number 10, Texas. At number 11, Oklahoma. Higher or lower for the Sooners at 11?
Yeah, I think both Texas and Oklahoma is the committee just covering their bases in case there's an upset. Like if Oklahoma beats Alabama, then they can elevate them with 2 losses way up. Same thing with Texas. If Texas wins at Georgia, they can elevate them way up. There's nothing that those 2 teams have done recently that would lead you to believe that they ought to do that. Now, Texas was really good against Vandy. They were really good. That game was not as close as the final score would lead you to believe. I think that the Ole Miss, if I had to pick one team outside of, the undefeated teams, one team that is the safest in all of this, it's Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss is hosting a playoff game. I think they have a ceiling. They're not going above probably 6 or 7, but I think they have a floor and they're not going below 7. Like, I don't see Ole Miss as going on the road because I think they're going to win out and be 11-1, and they're going to host a playoff game at the Grove. I think what they do with Oregon is really fascinating here over the next couple of weeks. I think that's going to be very interesting.
Bo, I think you're correct. I think Ole Miss might be the safest team in the country right now as far as getting in the playoff. Because they've got 2 games left. Mississippi State's the toughest of those 2, and I don't think that's super tough, although it is a rivalry game. I think they are the safest bet to be in this college football playoff right now.
I'll tell you one that might be just as safe as Indiana. Indiana is in. I mean, they're not losing.
Ohio State and Indiana are both safe too.
No, but like if we've seen Ohio State lose to Michigan. So if you lose to Michigan, you lose to Indiana, you're still in.
You're still in.
But it's a very different scenario. Indiana can get bombed by Ohio State, and they're not dropping out of the top 10. And they're not losing to Purdue.
I think that's correct. I think Texas right now, I think they're pretty appropriately ranked. Texas could, this might be crazy, but Texas, if they run the end of their schedule here, Texas is going to be a team that's in consideration for a bye. If they beat Georgia, if they beat Texas A&M, and I don't know if that would put them in the SEC championship or not, but they're going to be right there in the mix.
They'd have one conference loss at Florida. They'd have the head-to-head against Texas A&M, so they'd get in over them, and they'd have the head-to-head over Georgia, who would have 2 conference losses.
So if they somehow...
So they would play for the SEC title if that happened.
So if they somehow do that and win, they're getting a bye.
Yeah. I
don't think that's happening.
No. I think they're going to lose this week. What is the... Let me pull it up. Georgia's favored by 5.5 against Texas.
And that is in Athens.
It's in Athens. Bama's favored by 5.5 against Oklahoma. So these things are going to sort themselves out.
We'll go to 13's Utah, 14 Vanderbilt, 15 Miami. The CFP committee did have the Hurricanes into their bracket projection. At 16, Georgia Tech, 17 USC, 18 Michigan, 19 Virginia, 20 Louisville, 21 Iowa. Higher or lower for the Hawkeyes at 21?
I was really pleased that they left them exactly where they were, basically. I thought that's fine, and that helps USC's cause in a big way because they play them this week. The more I think about it, USC probably is going to have to win out. They're probably going to have to go 10-2, save for just complete chaos everywhere and losing to teams that nobody should lose to. The ACC, guys, is going to be... You talked about Miami right now as in, but is there even what is the scenario where Miami plays for the ACC title? Because I don't think they're getting in as an at-large, so they would have to play for the ACC title to get in, and they have 2 losses in their conference.
They need complete chaos.
Complete. There are Georgia Tech, Virginia, Pitt, beloved Ponies, Duke, all have 1 loss in the ACC. So I don't see really, Miami to me almost seems like they've hit their ceiling on how high they can go.
And Georgia Tech only has Pitt left in conference. So I don't know if Georgia Tech loses, if they win a tiebreaker with Miami or how that goes. Pitt has Notre Dame and Georgia Tech and then Miami. So they could get ahead of Pitt still by beating Pitt.
How'd you like to be NC State? You beat Virginia and Georgia Tech, and you're 2-3 in your league.
I mean, that's probably the best way to describe the Atlantic Coast Conference.
What an absurdity! Did you pull this up? This league?
Virginia has
this league is?
Virginia has Duke and Virginia Tech left. I can't see them losing, but they could.
Yeah. How about the beloved Ponies? Is there a path for the beloved Ponies to get in? Well, they get Louisville and Cal. Louisville at home and then Cal. Go win the ACC.
Those are conference games in the ACC.
Yeah.
Is there a better ACC conference game than Cal and SMU?
No, that's everything that you need. By the way, I'm about maybe a year from trying to get SMU into the Big Ten. I'm like a year removed from it, and then I'm going to start lobbying for it. That's going to be my next big play.
Let's just do it now. We don't want to be reactionary.
That's right. Go get them right now. They got a ton of money. They got a great brand. It's Dallas. Let's go. We're going to do something that is. I thought this would be an easy exercise. How is this thing going to look? And then here, I'll show you. If you're watching the YouTube stream, this is the yellow legal pad that I always do. Look at all the cross marks. I thought I'd just put them in easy.
Yeah,
no.
Mine's similar, just crossed
Yours
out.
is a mess.
Yeah.
It's a mess. So we're going to try to predict what the final bracket will look like coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
Hey friends, Beamer here, and I'm a big believer in saying thank you when something actually works. So thank you, Awaken 180. And they're actually saying thank you back right here in Ohio with $500 off every new program through Thanksgiving. I started around this time last year, dropped 65 pounds for the holidays and 15 more in free maintenance. Awaken 180 works, and now's the time to do it with $500 off. Thank your new self when you're 30 or 80 pounds lighter with the medication-free solution for weight loss. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Feeling stuck on your own 10-yard line in the career game? Maybe it's time to just go for IT. My Computer Career has the game plan to score a rewarding new IT career in months. Whether you're a rookie, a breakout career changer, or a military veteran ready to serve. Why spend years chasing a college degree when you can fast track your future in IT starting now? Take your mark, get set, go for IT. Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
I love Right Pack Credit Union because they're solution driven. I feel valued as a member.
They're focused on the latest technology and the personal connections.
Experience benefits that go beyond banking with Right Pack Credit Union. Just ask our actual members.
I definitely recommend Right Pack to all my family and friends as a credit union of choice.
Visit one of our Columbus area Right Pack Credit Union member centers near you. Based on individual members' experiences, results may vary.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26-27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I could not imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life. There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
Sunday, a day of rest, relaxation, and Browns football. Catch the Brownies as they battle the Ravens live from the land.
Kickoff comes your way Sunday at 4:25.
Your radio home of the Browns, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining built Ford tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, built Ford tough. Based on 1977 to 2024 calendar year total sales.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Mostly sunny and warmer today, but we still will have that wind, so it'll feel like we're in the 40s, but we are on our way up with temperatures. For tonight, though, still mostly clear skies overnight, which will allow lows to drop right around the freezing mark. And then for Thursday, a lot less wind and continued sunshine with highs in the low 50s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
All the Ohio State conversation you can handle. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Your Ohio State flagship station. The Fan. The perfect show for quarter zips and khaki shorts. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed, you are, and we are sponsored and brought to you by our great friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for over 78 years. I assumed this would be easy. It was not. The task at hand here is putting together how we think this thing is going to look by the time we get to the second weekend in this, I guess the first full weekend in December, that's Sunday after conference championship games. It's really difficult because the group of 4 conferences are an unmitigated mess. And there's a billion teams with one loss, and you're trying to project who's going to come out of a league like the American or who's going to come out of a league like the Sun Belt. The ACC is an even bigger mess to the point where I almost just threw my hands up. I scratched it out 3 times and just put ACC question mark. Pick one. I have no idea who's coming out of that mess and who's going to win that league. It feels to me like it would be UVA because of what Bake mentioned. They play Duke. They play Virginia Tech. They'd be favored in those 2 games, and then can they beat Georgia Tech? But Georgia Tech is going to, I think they'll pick up a loss against Georgia, and then I don't know how the tiebreakers all work on that. Like who gets them, who doesn't. It's the craziest thing. Like Georgia Tech's conference losses to NC State. Virginia has a non-conference loss to NC State. And you're saying, well, Bo, they're both in the ACC. You'd be right. They are. But they couldn't find a game, so they played each other in a non-conference game. So that's one of Virginia's 2 losses. So that's, God bless, trying to sort through the tiebreakers in the ACC. It gets to, though, how are teams going to navigate these schedules? So we spent some time on Texas and Oklahoma. I don't have either one in my final bracket. I think they're both losing.
They're both out.
Yeah. So that's where this we're spending time on some teams that I don't think have a chance in hell at this thing. So let's just start. So remember, if you're listening along, the way that this bracket works is 12 versus 5 feeds into 4, 9 versus 8 feeds into 1, 11 versus 6 feeds into 3, and then 10 versus 7 feeds into 2. So that's in your head, just kind of picture it that way.
Hold on real quick. Who'd you say feeds into 1?
I said 8 versus 9 feeds into 1.
Okay, I thought you said 5 versus 12, and I just wanted to make sure.
Into 4.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
I maybe misspoke, but yeah, 12-5 into 4, 9-8 into 1, 11-6 into 3, 10-7 into 2 is the way that it goes. So, should we start at the top? When we do this thing on Sunday, the number 1 seed in this tournament will be who?
Ohio State.
Same.
So I got the Buckeyes number 1 overall. The number 2 seed, so this is another receiving bye, will be who, Reese?
I have Alabama.
Bake?
Alabama.
Same. I got Bama, number 2. Now I think it's going to get interesting. The number 3 seed in this bracket will be who, Reese?
The Texas Tech Red Raiders.
Bake?
I have Texas A&M.
Okay, I have Texas Tech as well. I have Texas Tech winning out and getting the bye and being the 3 seed.
The committee really likes the Big 12.
They do. And there's one other part of this that we'll get to when we do our number 4. Who do you have at number 4, Reese?
I have A&M.
Fake?
I have Texas Tech.
Okay, so we just inverted it.
Yep.
So I think Reese and I are thinking on the lines of the committee. They would not want to set up a potential 2 versus 3 SEC if they didn't have to.
Now, let me ask you this. How do you have A&M getting to 3? Because I bet I have it different, or I have them at 3. I bet I have it different than you guys, because I bet you have them winning out and losing to Bama in the SEC championship.
That's how I have it.
I do not. I have them getting the benefit of not playing in the SEC championship. I think Texas beats them the last week of the season, and then it's Georgia-Bama in the SEC championship. So A&M kind of like Ole Miss is just sitting there.
Would they have the tiebreaker? Georgia would have the tiebreaker.
I think they would. I looked into this. The SEC is complicated as hell with their tiebreakers and stuff, but I do believe they would have the tiebreaker.
Okay. So one thing that we're giving the credit to is that they're going to build television. I'm giving a lot of credit to they're going to build television shows.
That's almost how I did the whole thing.
Yeah.
Was what's the better matchup on paper for eyeballs?
Okay, so now let's go back to the top. So this would feed into Texas A&M for us. It would feed into Texas Tech for you. Your 5 is who?
I have the Indiana Hoosiers.
Same.
Who do you have as your 12?
The South Florida Bulls.
Same.
So I have JMU.
And really just highest ranked group of 5 is also kind of what I had written down for the G5 and the ACC. It's just ACC champ.
I have Indiana JMU in the 5-12 game because
the
what is that?
Bowl?
Signetti Bowl. Yep. And they're ranked in the coaches.
Yeah.
So it's not that far off. They only have one loss. They lost 28-14 at Louisville. That's their only loss on the year for the Dukes. So so we're pretty similar then. 8-9. Who's your 8-9 game, Reese?
I've got 8 Ole Miss, 9 ACC champ, but for the fun exercise, I have Georgia Tech.
Okay. So you have Ole Miss, Georgia Tech in the 8-9.
My 8-9 is Oregon and Notre Dame.
Okay, so we have a combination of them. I have Ole Miss as the 8. I have Notre Dame as the 9. So I have Ole Miss the 8, Notre Dame the 9. So we would get the winner of that game, which is probably why Lane Kiffin was quick to clarify that he wasn't talking about the Buckeyes. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about Indiana. So Ole Miss, Notre Dame into Ohio State for me is the way that I see that one going. All right, so now going down, this feeds into, for me, Texas Tech, for you, Bake, into Texas A&M, the 6-11 game. Who is your 11?
So I've got Utah playing at Georgia.
Okay. So you have Georgia the 6. I have Georgia the 6. Who do you have as the 6, Bake?
So I have Ole Miss as my 6, and I have Georgia Tech winning the ACC as my 11.
Okay. So we have similar thinking then. I have Georgia as the 6, and I have I put several teams. Like I just put ACC champ playing at Georgia. Now, I don't think they would do it if it's Georgia Tech. Then I think they would move the matchup and make, they could make them the 10 or something else. I think they would avoid Georgia versus Georgia Tech.
Which they absolutely will. Like this will only be what gives us the best first round options.
So if Virginia gets through, like I put Virginia, then it would be against Georgia as the 6. Otherwise, they could just move it to make sure that matchup doesn't happen. Okay, so we're pretty similar then. And then in the 10-7, this could be where we have some differences. Reese, what do you have as the 10-7 feeding into Bama?
I've got Oregon hosting Notre Dame.
Okay.
So I have Georgia as my 7, sitting there with 2 losses to Alabama, and Utah is my 10.
Okay, so you would think about this, though, Bake, just from a TV perspective. You would have Georgia theoretically playing Bama 3 times because the winner would be in Tuscaloosa.
I don't think they would hate that.
Oh, I don't think they would do that. I think they would avoid that. And I think Sankey would make sure they avoided that. So I have Oregon and Vanderbilt here. I think Vanderbilt's going to go 10-2.
So you have 5 SECs.
I do. Yep. I think Vanderbilt's going to get in at 10-2. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. So I have the SEC representatives. I have Alabama, Texas A&M, Vanderbilt, Georgia, and Ole Miss. The Big Tens I have are Oregon, Ohio State, and Indiana. The ACC, I just have one. I mean, I put Virginia, but it could be Georgia Tech. It could be SMU. Hopefully it is. My group of 5 is JMU, and then I have Notre Dame.
Do you have Utah losing, or do you have them just jumping Vanderbilt over them for no reason?
Well, who's at the bottom of this poll?
At the Tennessee.
Tennessee's sitting there. And Vanderbilt's got Kentucky, and they got Tennessee left. And if they win those 2 at 10-2, they can easily justify. To me, Utah and Miami feel like teams that have hard concrete ceilings they're going to hit their heads up against. And I don't know that they're going to just put them in to put them in. I don't know that there's enough for Utah to overcome that. And I think that Vanderbilt's sitting there looking at Tennessee going, we win that one, we're going to get in. But look, this is all subjective. I'll be honest with you. In that little exercise, I thought we'd be a little bit more different. It's not that different. Like, I have Vanderbilt as the last one in as an at-large. I think, Reese, you had Utah. Bake, who did you have?
I have Utah.
You guys both have Utah, and I have Vanderbilt.
We have 2 Big 12s.
Other than that, we have the same participants in this thing, and then the group of 5 is different.
And my Utah also has BYU, but then it also has Utah, and so I've just scratched out Utah and BYU, so it's whomever is the runner-up in the Big 12.
Well, Big 12 runner-up, yeah.
And I think that's going to be, I don't think it's a runner-up thing. I think Utah's going to get the benefit of not playing in the title game, because I feel like it's going to be Texas Tech versus BYU again, and if Texas Tech beats BYU again, they're just going to eliminate them and throw Utah in.
Yeah, the Utah thing is going to be very fascinating, but juxtaposed to the Vanderbilt conversation. That'll be the one to watch. We'll get Jake Trotter's thoughts on all of this in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
This sports report is brought to you by Bet365. When it comes to sportsbooks, Bet365 has it all. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be located in Ohio.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
My toilet's clogged, backed up too. The sink is running slow. Water's backed up everywhere. Oh, please don't overflow.
Clogged drain, no problem. It's 93 or free. I'll clear any drain or you don't pay with a 1-year guarantee.
It's 93 or free. Guaranteed.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
2 years ago, Bobby Carpenter completed treatments for knee pain at QC Kinetics. So we're checking in with the former college and pro football player to see how he's doing.
I've been asked a lot, like, how long does this last? How long does it work? I go, I've had mine for a couple years, and everything feels very good. It feels just as good as it did when I started to turn the corner.
Bobby's an active husband, dad, and business owner. That's why 2 years ago, he heard about QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative treatments, and he knew he could trust them for his chronic knee pain.
And thankfully, with QC Kinetics, I was able to go through this, and my activities are the same as it was. I'm able to coach my kids in sports. I can play golf. I can go run.
QC Kinetics patients like Bobby don't miss a beat. No surgery or rehab, just freedom from debilitating joint pain. Ready for lasting relief from joint pain? Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation and see if you're a good candidate.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Hey friends, Beamer here. Thanksgiving, as we know, is right around the corner. And what better way to say thank you than $500 off to a thinner, healthier you? Now through Thanksgiving, Awaken 180 is giving our great listeners $500 off your program. Visit them online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Let me introduce you to a man with a magnificent salt and pepper beard. A man who's currently roasting lamb on a spit. A man who runs the Rocky River Greek Festival. That man is Jake Trotter.
Sponsored by High Bank Distillery Co. Visit their Grandview, Gahanna, and Westerville locations to experience the best in craft dining and distilling. Learn more at highbankco.com.
Oh, buddy. Week 2 college football playoff rankings. A lot of this stuff's going to get sorted out. We just went through the most absurd exercise of trying to predict how this thing is going to look by the time we get to early December. And that's about worth as much as the paper we wrote it down on. But in terms of trends, is there anything you took away from week 2 of this thing?
You know, Texas Tech is pretty high. They have a shot to get a bye, I would think, especially if the SEC beats up on one another these last 2 or 3 weeks. You know, Texas and Texas A&M have still got to play. You know, Alabama's got a tough game against Oklahoma this weekend. You've got the SEC championship, obviously. So I think that the SEC teams could beat each other up to the point where Tech, even if, first of all, even if they lost, I think Tech is in pretty good shape to still get in based on where they are. And if they went out, which I think that they will, based on how they have performed this year, then I think they're probably looking at a top 4 seed. And I don't think anybody would have predicted before the year that the Big 12 was going to get the top seed. So I think right now you look at the Big 12 potentially getting a bye, and then ACC, it almost feels like they're locked into the 11 seed at this point.
I would agree with you on both of those points. In fact, I had Texas Tech as my 3 seed in this thing, predicting how it's going to be in a month. Because I think they're going to get – I think BYU is going to beat Cincinnati. You're going to get – or even if they don't, I mean, the way that they're valuing Utah in this thing tells you kind of that Texas Tech's going to get another big data point coming in that Big 12 championship game. So, yeah, I think it's right there for them, and they're kind of the poster boy for this, for where we are in the sport, aren't they? Like, let's throw a bunch of money around and look what happens. Their only loss is to Arizona State without their starting quarterback. Yeah,
the Utah win on the road looks really good. You know, they destroyed Utah in that game about a month ago or so. Yeah, like if you want to compete in college football and you're not Alabama or Ohio State, there's a way to do it, which is to buy a bunch of players. The other thing, Bo, that you look at the teams that are in the mix, we could have some tasty first round matchups. Like if we could somehow get Texas Tech versus Texas, that would be a lot of fun. A&M versus Texas, A&M versus Texas Tech. The old Mike Leach game. Leach would make fun of Texas A&M every year, which was always hilarious. And then, we could get, in the second round, like Ohio State, Notre Dame. There's just a lot of really intriguing, potentially first round, second round games that I don't know that there was as many of those last year. Now we'll see what happens, but Notre Dame, Miami would be another one that would be fun. So I just think there's a lot of really intriguing, rivalry games in the first or second round. Georgia, Alabama right now would be a second round game. So it's shaping up to be, a pretty fun playoff. It looks like. And again, I don't think that I would give Ohio State the edge that it had last year. Even after Michigan, I just felt like Ohio State had a level that they could get to, that they got to, that no one else was going to be able to match. I don't know if that's the case this year, even though I think Ohio State is the clear favorite up to this point based on the way that they've played and Julian Sayin emerging, the receivers, the defense. It's a complete team. But last year's Ohio State team, with all those seniors, it just had a level that no one could match. I don't know if that's the case this year. Maybe it will be, but I think this playoff has a chance to be really fun, and I think it goes back to what we agree with, which is 12 is a pretty good number for this.
Yeah, I mean, I think 8's perfect, but if you want to go 12, I wouldn't go any bigger than this because then I think you're going to just make excuses to put things in. But of course, they're going to chase the dollars. They'll probably get there. You mentioned the Buckeyes. This is something that we talk about every day. They are 32.5-point favorites against UCLA this week after last week being 30.5-point favorites. It'll be something like that against Rutgers too. They have only played one game this season outside of the opener against Texas where they were favored by a score or less, and that was 7.5 at Washington. Everything else, the next closest, buddy, is 15.5. Now, some of that is Penn State wasn't who you thought they were going to be. Wisconsin isn't who people maybe hoped they would be. And so you've just steamrolled through all of this. But it's a tough team to analyze because of that, is it not?
I agree. And, that's why, last year's team, I was at the Oregon game. They didn't make the plays at the end to win. I think they were a little bit unlucky with the offensive pass interference. But, going to Oregon, that was the number one team in the country going into the playoff. And you could make the case Ohio State should have won that. And so you just felt like these guys have played a ton of football. They've won a ton of games. And that they have a chance to steamroll everybody, which they went on to do. And this year's team, like the Texas win, that's a quality win, but the version of Arch Manning we got in that game just left a lot to be desired. I think Texas is a pretty flawed team. They might get into the playoffs still just because, other teams are losing, although Texas has got some games they're going to have to win to
they
keep
got Georgia
spot.
Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, they might wake up and just be completely eliminated in a couple of weeks. And then the rest of the schedule, who is the best team that Ohio State has played other than Texas? Who would you say at this point?
Washington.
Yeah, a Washington team that is going to go 8-4, 7-5.
Right. Nobody had Penn State falling off a cliff.
That's the game that hurts.
That's what
the game that hurts if you're looking at Ohio State's resume. You're like, what happened? The Penn State game was supposed to be a top 5 matchup, and it just didn't work out that way. And then you look, you don't play USC, you don't play Oregon, you don't play Indiana, so you're just kind of coasting along against these mid-tier to below Big Ten teams. And I'm not saying Ohio State wouldn't be still undefeated if they played everybody in the Big Ten, but the schedule has not worked out the way we thought, and that's why I think there's a little bit of a question about the Buckeyes and the ceiling that they can get to, which might be really high. We'll see.
Yeah, I think folks here feel that way too. We talk about all the time, Julian has been unbelievable. He's been unbelievable, but I don't know. And he was great in the Texas game. He did everything they asked of him to do in the Texas game. He was better than Arch. He was accurate on everything. But I don't know what's going to happen if they get punched in the mouth in Ann Arbor. because I haven't seen him get punched in the mouth. There hasn't been a single instance since the Texas game where there was any fear, even into the fourth quarter, that they would lose. Honestly, really, even into the third, the third, Jake. Honestly,
Washington is the only game, right, where you're like, all right, it's kind of close, but
sort of. Penn State was 17-14 and a half, but it took a fumble on a drive that I'm sure they would have scored on had they just gone and thrown the ball. They would have scored to go up. At that time, it would have made it 24-7, but Penn State scored to make it 17-14, and that was the only one where it was even at half, and you were going, okay, this is kind of, let's see if they can go get a touchdown right out of the break, and then they did.
Yeah, I never thought Penn State was going to win the game.
Never. Who are your top 4 teams in the country?
Oh, Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, and Alabama.
So if Texas A&M played Indiana, you'd take Indiana.
Neutral site?
Yeah.
Yes, I would.
If Texas A&M played Bama, you'd take Texas A&M.
I'd probably take Bama, but I just think A&M, their body of work is more impressive to this point slightly.
So I'm with you on A&M. I think A&M is actually really good. And I think the Marcel Reed part of it gives them a threat that Bama doesn't have because Bama can't run it at all. So they're a little bit more dynamic. But I think that's what's – so they could lose to Texas, and then the tiebreak stuff gets crazy in the SEC. This is going to be a nuts last 3 weeks, buddy. That's the gist of our conversation right here. Chaos is going to come.
I feel the way about A&M the way that you and Titus do about Penn State, where I'm just so used to A&M being a fraud every year. It's hard for me to completely wrap my head around them finishing the regular season undefeated. I'm still in a little bit of wait and see mode. And I don't think nationally the committee did, but Indiana is really good. Indiana is legit good. They've got a big time quarterback. They've got other pieces that are, going to play in the NFL. The JMU Mafia, continues to be really good for them. And they just, it's not easy. I don't care what Penn State team you play. That's not an easy place to win. No. And you go to Oregon and win. That's not an easy place to win either. So Indiana's legit. And I don't know. I'm still kind of I'm not 95% sold on A&M, but that 5%. It's just for me watching them screw up every year when it mattered most.
One of my no names, please, but one of my boys is taking a liking to Texas A&M, and he was doing that. Gig 'em, Aggies, come on! And I just said, just leave, kindly leave. I'm not raising a yell leader. I'm not having it.
You might be.
He just likes how they come out onto the field, how that place is electric. But I'm like, dude, you just go there and you'll see. It's just a different joint.
Well, listen, it is. They have a great intramural program there. It's it's a fun place to go to school. Yeah. But would I have gone to school there? No, because I'm just not prone to Colts.
We'll do it again next week, buddy. Thanks for your time.
See you, man.
All right, there he goes. Jake Trotter, senior college football reporter at ESPN, joining us on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We'll do Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Do the holiday parties, tailgating, and family get-togethers have your liver working overtime? Let Active Liver help give your liver some relief at Amazon, Vitacost.com, CVS, Meijer Grocery, or ShopRite.
Dormar, you're kind of hero.
When your furnace or air conditioner is broke, we come out that same day. Dormar, home the 10 man.
Around here, it's all or nothing. And Toyota has more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else. Like the best-selling Toyota Camry. Now through December 1st, get 4.75 APR financing on remaining new 25 Camrys. Or lease a new 26 Camry LE for $269 a month for 39 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Gift big this year with a Home for the Holidays raffle. You have a chance to win a beautiful new custom home or cash prize this holiday season and help make wishes come true for Make-A-Wish kids with critical illnesses. Raffle proceeds benefit Make-A-Wish OKI, which has granted over 22,000 wishes to children facing critical illnesses across the Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana region since 1983. This year's house was built by Three Pillar Homes in the Evans Farm community in Lewis Center and has 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and a 2-car garage. It also includes amazing features like upstairs laundry, 2 covered patios, 1 with a fire pit, a great room with fireplace, mudroom with extended bench seat and open lockers, kitchen and morning room. One lucky winner will be announced on December 24th, so get your $100 ticket now. Just visit ahomeffortheholidayscolumbus.org to buy your tickets. That's ahomeffortheholidayscolumbus.org. Terms and conditions apply.
Active military or veteran planning your next career move? Columbus State's IT programs prepare you for a high-tech career in Columbus's fastest growing fields. Our veteran services team will help you maximize your benefits and connect to a supportive campus community. Apply at cscc.edu/IT.
Finally, fall is here. The leaves are changing, the air is crisp, and the cooler temperatures are a welcome relief. But as those temperatures continue to drop, it's also a reminder that winter is just around the corner. We know it might feel a little early to start talking about freezing temperatures and snow, but now is the perfect time to make sure your roof is ready. Before the winter weather hits, wouldn't you like the peace of mind that your home is protected? If you're unsure about the condition of your roof or just want to be prepared for the months ahead, call the professionals you can trust at Newman Roofing. With over 30 years in business and 3 generations of Newmans in the roofing industry, we're dedicated to educating you about your roof so you understand exactly what's happening. We believe that an informed homeowner can make the very best decision for their needs. Give us at Newman Roofing a call today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit us online at newmanroofing.com. Let Newman Roofing help you prepare for winter the right way.
Remember what sports used to be about calling up your favorite host and saying how stupid they are? Good news. We still do that. The Fan Call-In Show.
Hello. Sponsored by ESPN Bet at Hollywood Casino.
Sunday mornings at 8 on The Fan.
Dormar, you're kind of hero.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're over 50, it's likely that you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments have, in most cases, made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices in the tri-state area to serve you.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. When General Sherman marched through Georgia, he was listening to this show.
Use your skills for good, young warrior.
This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a first Friday. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
The current director of player development, Rick Nash, the correct director of player development for the Columbus Blue Jackets, Rick Nash, was a guest on the Spittin' Chicklets podcast last week and told the boys a story about acclimating to Columbus as a 19-year-old kid from Brampton, Ontario, Canada.
From an off-ice standpoint, it was tough. I mean, both my parents were working back in Brampton. I was trying to figure out how to get a mortgage on a house, how to rent a place. Oldies calling me, going to sorority parties and this and that. All my buddies are in college, so it was different. Luckily enough, a guy named Larry Larson was a radio guy for one of the local stations here, and he brought down Simon Fraser one day. Simon Fraser was a defensive end for the Buckeyes, and if you guys remember, in 2002 or 3, they won the national championship. So he started bringing me onto campus, and we used to hang out with like Craig Krenzel, Bobby Carpenter. I believe AJ Hawk was in that crew. These were all Buckeyes of those, and we used to go to parties, and Simon would introduce me as a walk-on tight end. And I would say, he goes, "Don't worry, no one knows about hockey on campus." He goes, "Just go along with the tight end and you'll have more fun." So it was it was great. But yeah, those early years were different in Columbus, Ohio as a hockey player.
Thing or not a thing?
Well, I would say Simon Fraser did him wrong, because I think that the better pickup line was, "I was the number 1 pick in the NHL draft. I'm worth several $1 million." I would think that would go further than "I'm a backup tight end," because in those days there's no NIL. So he couldn't he have just crushed it like with that line? I feel like that's the pickup line.
I don't know. I think more. I understand the money part. I think more people think tight end at Ohio State over Blue Jackets back then.
I think in 2002, you're going to Ohio State's campus and 9 to 10 people are like the Columbus who's a what's?
I think
no question.
On
but
campus.
Just like, yeah, I just think multimillionaire 19-year-old that travels. I think my favorite part of all of that though is that Larry Larson was the one who did it. That is my favorite, because there is not a guy that was kinder to me when I moved to town than Larry Larson. And he still texts me on my birthday. He just is the best dude ever. So that the fact that that's it is perfect. That is a perfect story.
It couldn't be better that Larry was in there. I still miss going to Planks over on Parsons and walking in and him making it a big deal. Everybody that walked in, getting on the microphone and all of that. And you're right. It may be a week early, but he's always sending you a message on your birthday. Remember the times in good old Columbus town. And Larry's just the best. And that's one of my favorite things, Bo, about the football show on Friday nights is it kind of continues his tradition with keeping up the high school sports. It's a great story. I love in this interview as well, they talk about the goal in Phoenix against the Coyotes where, he dekes. He's talking about the goal. He's like, I can't believe that move just worked on one guy. And that all happened so fast. He's processing this in his head. Yeah. It just worked on him. Let me do it again. And it worked on the other guy. And it was just a great interview with Rick on that podcast.
The General Robert Carpenter informing me that Rick did buy all the beer. So that was
well, of course.
Of course he did.
He had deep pockets, man. Deep pockets.
Just like the first pick, just the idea of it's insane.
Well, and also like when I talk to whether it's Blue Jackets who aren't from that are high draft picks who aren't American, or I really saw this with crew players I would talk to. When you would tell them that the biggest thing in town was college football, the look on their face was incredulous. What are you talking about? Amateur sports is the biggest thing on town? It was so hard for them to wrap their head around.
In an appearance Tuesday at 97.1 The Ticket in Detroit, Lions head coach Dan Campbell was asked what the Lions are preparing to do for Philadelphia on Sunday night, and the Eagles tush push.
There's nothing easy about defending it. It's hard. The good news is they're not hiding it. I mean, you know what's coming. And then they've got a couple of wrinkles off of it. They'll show it, and then they'll hit the perimeter. Once you're all crunched down in there, he'll take it and either hand it off or take it off around the perimeter on a run, that's a good curveball. Listen, the tush push is the least of my concerns. I know it's going to show up, and it's a good play for them, but we got a lot of other things we got to defend before that.
Thing or not a thing?
All right, two things. Is this what Jalen Hurts is predominantly going to be known for when his playing career is over?
Yeah.
More than the Super Bowl. And then the other thing that I would say that we've probably reached the point where it's probably enough of it. I think a lot of people are kind of tired of it. I know the NFL is probably tired of it. Wouldn't the way to solve it just be at no point can an offensive player push another offensive player on any point of the field for positive yardage? Doesn't that just solve it? Then it's just done.
Didn't there, correct me here, Bo, I remember back when this happened with the Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart play against Notre Dame, and people were complaining then that an offensive player can't push another offensive player forward.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a rule at one time with that, and then it kind of went away?
Yeah.
None of this bothers me. I don't care about any of it. I think Detroit-Philly is going to be a great football game. I hope it's a great football game. I'm excited to watch it. I think it's two of the best teams, not only in the NFC, but all of the NFL. I just stop it. There's only one team that can do it. Just stop it. Like, I'm so sick and tired of hearing about it.
I do think they need to officiate it better. Like, they false start a lot, and I think they need to get called on that stuff. So I think that's another part of it that's become a little bit bothersome.
I saw our buddy Matt Fantana complaining about that on Twitter the other night during the Packers-Eagles game. Like, they jump off sides every time.
Every time, yeah.
Well, sometimes they just line up blatantly off sides, and it's like, anybody else? We're watching the same game, guys. All right, let's choose our last adventure here. Bowling or retirement?
Bowling.
For the first time in 36 years, the Columbus Square Bowling Palace will host the Professional Bowlers Association Tour. The 64-lane bowling center is going to welcome back the PBA Ohio Classic from March 30th to April 5th. It'll be the 7th stop of the 2026 PBA Tour. The Ohio Classic is going to begin with practice sessions and a pro-am event on March 30th. So that guy that says, "Who do you think you are? I am," I hope he's there. 4 days of competition will lead up to the April 5th championship, which will be aired live at 4 o'clock on the CW Columbus. Thing or not a thing?
Right after ACC football.
This is why I wanted you to do this. The guy that you're talking about, who's he, I'm him, that's Pete Weber. I hosted with Uncle Dom a wall-to-wall sports episode that had the following human beings on it. Pete Weber, Rampage Jackson, UFC champion.
Oh, my gosh.
Marcus Freeman, then Ohio State linebacker. James Laurinaitis, then Ohio State linebacker. And Buster Flippin' Douglas. We had all 5 of them on one episode of Wall to Wall Sports. I have photos of it. Guess who covered the PBA when it came to town? If I were to give you one guess of who in this town would cover the PBA when it came to town.
The Intrepid Sports Department at Channel 10.
No. One writer.
Writer.
Tim May.
Oh, of course. Of course. Of course.
Tim May was on it.
He was on it. So
it's amazing.
Unless Pete Weber's there, I don't want it. He needs to be there. I know he's 63. I need him there.
Tim will be there.
In that. I don't know if I have ever been inside the Columbus Square Bowling Palace before midnight. Because they were open 24/7, and it was always like, well, we're still up. Let's go bowling.
Let's go, baby.
I don't think I've ever been in there before midnight.
I don't even know if people bowl anymore. I mean, there was a time when that was a big thing. Like, you were in bowling leagues. Like, adults would go to bowling leagues.
Yeah,
people I don't know if
still
Big Lebowski ruined it. Yeah, I don't know. All right, final hour. We started off with a little bit of Hey Guys coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If the sound of another man slammed against plexiglass turns you on, you've come to the right place. Proud to be your home for Jackets hockey. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Would you enjoy watching a football game if the officials were paid a bonus for every flag they threw? Or a basketball game where the refs got paid for every foul they called? Okay, how about hiring a furnace and AC company that pays its technicians by the number of parts they can sell you? Hi, this is Dennis, president of Care Heating and Cooling, and today, this is how many companies operate. They call it performance pay, and it rewards technicians by paying them more for billing you more. Why is this bad? Because it abuses your trust in a technician to be treated fairly and honestly. At Care, we've been family-owned for 31 years and have always paid our technicians by the hour for repairs. We'll show you exactly what needs to be fixed and why, and give you our low upfront cost before we start. And unlike other companies, our technicians will never be rewarded for throwing more flags. Our Central Ohio-based staff is here for you 7 days a week. Care Heating and Cooling. Book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com or call us at 1-800-COOLING. When you need a company you can trust.
At Giant Eagle, we believe in better, and that includes finding more ways to help you save. Because finding a good deal is everyone's deal. Because every dollar and every moment counts. Because value you can count on is priceless. On sale this season at Giant Eagle, you'll find lower prices to the end of the year on favorites like Honeycrisp apples, Oreo cookies, eggs, and more. Giant Eagle, because it matters. Limited time only through 12/31/25. Prices and participation may vary.
Imagine the perfect chicken tender. Crispy, juicy, for lack of a better word, tendery. Now imagine these perfect tenders at Wendy's. 'Cause they are. Wendy's new chicken tenders are here with delicious new dipping sauces like Wendy's Signature, Creamy Ranch, and Honey Barbecue. And they're so good, we even changed our name from Wendy's to Tendies. I believe that's what the kids call manifesting. For Tendies you're gonna know by name, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining built Ford tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, built Ford tough. Based on 1977 to 2024 calendar year total sales.
When you need a mini excavator or a not so mini excavator, lean on green. Sunbelt Rentals. With the largest rental fleet and hardest working equipment experts in Columbus, we can help you take a big step toward a mini excavator in one of 17 different sizes, from 2,000 to 18,000 pound machines with 6 to 24 feet of reach and 5 to 15 feet digging depth. Though in the most rental locations, and it's no wonder the Columbus builders who are building Columbus lean on green. Sunbelt Rentals. Learn more at sunbeltrentals.com.
Hey friends, Beamer here, and I'm a big believer in saying thank you when something actually works. So thank you, Awaken 180. And they're actually saying thank you back right here in Ohio with $500 off every new program through Thanksgiving. I started around this time last year, dropped 65 pounds for the holidays and 15 more in free maintenance. Awaken 180 works, and now's the time to do it with $500 off. Thank your new self when you're 30 or 80 pounds lighter with the medication-free solution for weight loss. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
You know that project you've been working on? Just chipping away at it, dreaming of the day you get to show it off? Then, when you're least expecting it, cancer. And finishing that project actually happens. I would know. I've been restoring this car for years, and today I'm giving it to my granddaughter. It's her 16th birthday and 2 years since my cancer diagnosis.
Pop, you finished it?
Happy birthday, boo-boo. You keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans to learn more.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. You know, life sometimes is about being in the right place at the right time. For example, maybe you're a huge Buckeye fan. You want to go to a Buckeye game. You want to get tickets, but you know they're tough to get. Maybe you also need new windows for your house. Maybe you sit next to them and you feel that cold, drafty air coming in. You say, oh, if only there was a way I could address both of these concerns at the same time. Well, good news. With Window Nation's end-of-year sale this November, you could save big on windows that fix that draftiness issue. You'll save 50% off all window styles, plus you could get 0% interest financing for 5 years. Well, you're saying, T-Bone, I also said I wanted to go to a Buckeye game. Well, good news. Window Nation is a proud partner of Ohio State Athletics. And right now, when you upgrade your home with Window Nation windows, you could get 2 tickets to an upcoming Ohio State game. See? Right place, right time. WindowNation.com is where you go to get started today. 50% off all window styles plus 0% financing for 5 years this month from Window Nation. Schedule your free estimate today. WindowNation.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Ohio State remains the top team in the college football playoff. The second set of rankings and bracket projection have the Buckeyes the top team and the #1 seed. Indiana second. Texas A&M is third. Alabama is fourth. The final rankings will be released Sunday, December 7th. On the field, Ohio State hosts UCLA Saturday night at 7:30. Hear from Buckeyes head coach tomorrow at noon on the Ryan Day radio show. On the field tonight, Miami of Ohio hosts Toledo at 7. The Red Hawks look to improve to 5-1 in MAC play. In college hoops, Ohio State improved to 3-0 with a 75-53 win over Appalachian State last night at the Shot. 3 Buckeyes were in double figures. Ohio State's back at Value City on Sunday, hosting Notre Dame. And in the NBA tonight, the Cavaliers will be without Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, and Evan Mobley at the Miami Heat at 7:30. This update is sponsored by Green & Sons, family-owned and operated for over 45 years. Find your next Kubota tractor at Green & Sons, located in Mount Sterling and north of Marysville in Raymond.
With friends like these, who needs former college football players? This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, final hour on a First Friday. Get your officially endorsed coming up in about 45 minutes from now. Time now for a little Hey Guys.
Nothing is off limits. Your participation is required. Just use the hashtag #HeyGuys and ask anything you want. Do it now.
Sponsored by High Bank Distillery Co. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank Distillery Co. Learn more at highbankco.com.
And the winner here gets a $50 gift card to our great friends at High Bank. Free distillery tour and a tasting for up to 10. Home of the best blended whiskey in America. 3 years running, and now the best vodka in the world. Yeah, that's a fact. Stop by High Bank's 3 locations, Grandview, Gahanna, and Westerville. Enjoy those award-winning spirits for your next happy hour. Make your reservation at highbankco.com.
All right, so we're taking your live Hey Guys in the YouTube chat. We'll start with one from Kane, and this is a long one. So bear with me for a second. It says, hey guys, just now listening to the opening of today's show. He says he's 30 and had advanced gym when he was in high school. Says it was awesome. Only for seniors. It was in an extended period, and we got to leave school, drive ourselves in our cars to locations around our small town. Community pool, driving range, tennis courts, etc. Says you can imagine what kind of trouble 17 to 18-year-olds got into when they let us drive mid-school day. Says this was in the Youngstown area.
Okay.
He doesn't have a question. He just wanted to let us know.
So we did that. Same. Like when we would play golf, like I remember like my junior, senior year, like when we would play golf, I took advanced PE all 4 years. Or maybe I couldn't take it as a freshman, but sophomore, junior, senior, it was my last class of the day, every single day, year round. And when we would go to golf, there was no golf courses. So we had to drive to Conrad and play at Ponderay Country Club, which that's putting it very loosely. God bless them. And we'd drive there and go play. And that was it. So yeah, same, very similar.
So
same thing with bowling. When we did the bowling, we would have to drive to Conrad to go bowl.
I never had anything like this, but were there ever times in high school where you guys just like, I don't want to be here right now, and just took off and ditched out of school?
Dude,
it's truancy, Baker, and illegal. Come on.
You guys could probably get away with it. Like, our school was so small. If I, left, they knew. Like, it wasn't like I could... You knew everybody. Like, I was in the same... Well, my youngest brother was in the same building as me. He's 7 years younger than me. Like, you'd see him in the halls. Like, it was noticeable if I wasn't there. It would have been sniffed out in a hurry. But I'm guessing in a big school, you could do it easy.
So there were times when I'd be like, yeah, I don't want to be here right now. And I would just take off and maybe go to the movies. Like I remember vividly one time leaving and going and seeing the Beavis and Butthead movie.
Yeah.
When it was in theaters, there's me and 2 other people there. It's the middle of the day. It was wonderful. And then I remember one time I was like, I wonder how long it would take to drive all the way around 270. So I just left school and did it. Drove around 270. I think it was 55 minutes.
55 minutes.
Yeah. So.
President Bush asks on Twitter, hey guys, over the past couple of weeks, I've heard you reference one of my favorite comedians, Mr. Ron Tater Salad White.
Oh, God.
He asks, who are your favorite comedians?
Ron White has some of the one-off liners. The drunk in public one is unbelievable. The one with his wife, I can't do that one. I haven't seen any of his new stuff. I'd seen his old one. The guy who consistently makes me laugh the hardest right now with his stand-up bits is Sebastian Maniscalco. Is my guy on that. The Bergazzi's great, but it's not as make me cry laugh as Maniscalco is. Gillis is pretty dang good, but he's only has the one stand-up, right? Like all the rest of it's just all the other stuff he does, the pods and stuff. So his one stand-up's really good, but I don't know if he's got another one. It seems like Maniscalco puts him out quite a bit. Chris Rock's early stuff. And I'm going to tell you what, the first 2 Eddie Murphy ones for the kids, I think would still hold up. Raw and Delirious would hold up, absolutely.
So I think all those blue-collar comedy tour guys are pretty funny. I think Ron White and Larry the Cable Guy, their stuff are both hilarious. My favorite comedian of all time was Chris Farley, but I don't know if Chris Farley really ever did any stand-up.
He really didn't,
quite frankly. But, he was the best, probably the funniest human ever.
He's like Farrell. They were in stuff, but they didn't do stand-up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually enjoy some of Kevin Hart's stuff. I think it's pretty funny. And I don't know if it's comedian, either of these, but both are very entertaining to me. I will watch anything Jeff Dunham or Frank Caliendo does. I would go watch both of them, where if they're in town, I want to get tickets and I want to go watch them because I think that's an entertaining night.
I know Frank is buddies with AR, and I always enjoy when he comes on. I've had Frank in studio before, and it was a bad job out of me. I made the mistake of wanting to talk to Frank Caliendo. He has no interest in that. I didn't realize he had no interest in that. I didn't get the prep that he doesn't want that. He just wants you to say Morgan Freeman and then ask the question for him to answer. He does not want to be, in my experience, he did not want to be Frank Caliendo at all. Reese, who you got?
So 1999's Chris Rock special came out kind of right in the era of Napster and burning CDs, and I remember getting that CD like it was contraband.
Yeah.
And and again, so this is 2001, 2002, so I was so young. I didn't really know what all of it was, but I remember it was hilarious. My buddies and I would just sit around and cackle at it all. And so his stand-ups are and they still hold up. That's the biggest thing, is when you think about, other comedians that had CDs out in the era of their stand-up specials, not many of them hold up. Chris Rock's do.
So the one when you said contraband, so he did Bring the Pain in 96, Bigger and Blacker in 99, Never Scared in 04. 99 was unreal. It was a Grammy Award winner. He won 2 Emmys for Bring the Pain. The one that was contraband, though, for me when I was a kid, was Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah.
You could, dude, did you hear Dice? He's doing story run. He's doing bedroom stories, and then he makes them dirty. Really? Do you have it? Do you have the new Andrew Dice Clay? Oh yeah, I got it. My brother got it. He got it from my cousin who's in college, and he recorded the tape. I mean, I remember that. If you got a hold of Andrew Dice Clay, that was the one.
My very first memory of Andrew Dice Clay was Rowdy Roddy Piper putting out his cigarette with a fire extinguisher in WWE. WWF back then.
This one's from Ace in the YouTube chat. He says, "Hey guys, so I've been working on my man cave and I finally have my Star Wars collection on display, as well as many of my strange curiosities that I collect." Cool. And he asks, "Do any of you collect things? If yes, what?"
I'm not great at throwing stuff away. And an example of this that just came up recently, I have all of the stuff that I was given. So basically anything I've ever gotten at any big sporting event I've covered, I've kept. So the Super Bowl, the first Super Bowl after 9/11, which was in New Orleans, Patriots and Rams, I was at it. And I've told the story before. That's where the streets have no name, and they do the scroll of everybody who died on 9/11. Well, among the things that they gave was there was a seat cushion for it. There was a numbered Beanie Baby stuffed animal for it. There was a light thing for it and all this other stuff. So I've kept all of that stuff. Last week, I go look in the trash. The seat cushion is in the trash. What are we doing? She goes, you and I have been together for 20 years. I've never seen you use it. I said, it's not to be used. What are we doing? Just throwing my stuff out. So I keep a lot of that stuff, and probably too much, to be honest.
Yeah, I keep a lot of stuff too, Bo, a lot of things that I've done. One thing that I have been doing is I've been keeping press passes that are for some of the bigger events that I've attended. I used to collect baseball cards, but I'm not really into cards anymore. I have a lot of ticket stubs. I used to keep ticket stubs. I wish we still had ticket stubs, quite frankly. Some memento for something. One thing I do is if I go around the country and go to I like going when we go out of town, I don't want to go to chains. I want to go to new places.
Yeah.
I have a pretty good Pilsner or drink glass selection of places I've been. I'll buy their glass if I enjoy their restaurant or had a good time. So I have a bunch of those up in my kitchen from places all around the country.
I still have every credential I've ever gotten. From high school games in Montana to Super Bowls. I've got every one. My wife made 2 big collages of them that are in our basement that are really cool. But I think that's really cool. It's like reliving, right? I mean, you just, I remember that.
And I don't ever want to take it for granted. Never. I always want it to be special, right? And think man, you're pretty privileged to do this.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you both hey guys, just real quick. If you could go back and relive one of those experiences, which would it be? Of the many sporting events you've covered over the years, you get to choose one to go back and do again.
I was 21. I was the sports director at the CBS affiliate in Billings, Montana. I wasn't even done with school yet. And I did play-by-play for the Montana State-Montana basketball game. And in that state, at that time, the whole state watched, right? And the amount of cred that I got for doing that game, like the idea that I did it now is absurd. That somebody like 21, 22 years old would do like the Cat Grizz game, which is the biggest thing that state has, was absurd. But I remember like walking into it feeling like, oh boy, you got you figured some stuff out, kid. And then I remember walking out of it, and then we went snowmobiling in Big Sky the next day and going like, how do I do better than this? How do I do better than this? Buddy of mine owned the Best Western, the Grand Tree Inn in Bozeman, Montana. We were in the pool at 2:30 in the morning after the bars closed. Like, it was just the most ridiculous weekend of all time. I'd run that one back.
Yeah, it would be hard like any of the state championships I've done. Doing the state hockey championships this past year was pretty awesome. I have done color for a state football championship game. I'm actually going to do play-by-play for one this year. So that will be pretty special. And something else that I'll always remember and never forget was the Stadium Series last year. And if I could go relive that again, I would definitely make sure I did the media skate. I didn't do the media skate, and I immediately regretted that.
Reese, what's yours?
I think it was... It's a good. I couldn't come up with an answer in the time we're doing that. The Stadium Series is pretty special because of everything, everything it meant to this town, and everything it meant to this hockey community, which is a great one. One of the first memorials I did was the Tiger Woods running down the fairway on 18, and I don't necessarily want Tiger to have to go through all of that again, but like I would love to talk to myself from back then and be like, just understand what you're witnessing right now, because I couldn't I couldn't make it out to, like, I don't know what I'm seeing here, but like then everything else that followed is insane.
Yeah, there's some good ones there.
We do have to pick a winner.
Do you guys have one that's a favorite? They were all good. A lot of good ones this week.
I kind of like the Kane Kyle, the first one we did about the because he was listening to the show, the PE class, and leaving school and doing all that, and then it got to talk about all my shenanigans back in the day.
That's fine by me. He's the big winner, the $50 gift card to our great friends at High Bank, the free distillery tour and tasting for up to 10. Home of the best blended whiskey in America, 3 years running, located right here in town. Make your reservations at highbankco.com. The NBA is trying to fix their All-Star game. Should they even attempt to? We'll get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we helped Tom.
Hi, my name's Tom. I've been a patient at Tri-State Men's Health, and I'm being treated for low testosterone. I didn't really notice the issue of just the energy and feeling slow in the middle of the day and waking up feeling as if I hadn't even gone to bed. When I walked into Tri-State Men's Health, I was extremely impressed from the get-go with the results of the treatment. I wake up in the morning now with clarity. I have had more energy in working out. I definitely have increased my strength. I would say that if there are men out there who experienced some of the same problems that I did with inability to sleep well and waking up without feeling refreshed and having your energy flagging throughout the day, go see Tri-State Men's Health. It's changed my life and it'll change yours too.
Thanks, Tom. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Feeling stuck on your own 10-yard line in the career game? Maybe it's time to just go for IT. My Computer Career has the game plan to score a rewarding new IT career in months. Whether you're a rookie, a breakout career changer, or a military veteran ready to serve. Why spend years chasing a college degree when you can fast track your future in IT starting now? Take your mark, get set, Go for IT. Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
At High Bank Distillery, they believe every pour should tell a story. Their Whiskey War spirits tell the story of Prohibition in every sip and was awarded the best blended whiskey in America 3 years running. Enjoy High Bank's nationally recognized spirits distilled right here in Ohio. Drink the best. Forget the rest. Learn more at highbankdistillery.com.
Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings are so good.
Right now, save on new Santa Fe and Tucson's with 0% financing and make no payments for 90 days. 0%. Go now, Columbus or Dublin or glakeshyundai.com with approved credit in 12-1.
Life is loud, chaotic, hilarious, and occasionally peaceful. Your life fits you. So why settle for life insurance that fits someone else? At Shelter Insurance, our local agents help you design a personal protection plan backed by award-winning customer service. To get started, find an agent at shelterinsurance.com. We're your shield. We're your shelter. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
At Baths R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement, and that starts with the team who brings your vision to life. Our installers aren't just skilled, they're experts.
This is who we are. This is what we do all day, every day.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsrus.com. 380-225-2284. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
Jake Diebler's Buckeyes are back at the shot for a matchup with Notre Dame. Ryan Day also wants me to alert you that Lou Holtz is an idiot.
Live fan coverage starts Sunday at 11:30 with the tip at 12:30.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
At the Ohio Lottery, we make Keno fun, your way. That means you pick your wager. Will it be $1, $2, a crisp $20? Your call. Like picking your own numbers? Use any inspiration you like. Birthdays, jersey numbers, you name it. And if you don't feel like choosing, there's the Super Quick Auto Pick. With regular promotions that'll get you more bang for your Keno buck, multiple ways to win, prizes galore, and live draws every few minutes. Anytime is the right time to get in on the Keno action. Keno is always fun, your way. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Mostly sunny and warmer today, but we still will have that wind, so it'll feel like we're in the 40s, but we are on our way up with temperatures. For tonight, though, still mostly clear skies overnight, which will allow lows to drop right around the freezing mark. And then for Thursday, a lot less wind and continued sunshine with highs in the low 50s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Bobby Carpenter demands that you watch Morning Juice on YouTube. If you don't, Tito will move into your house.
Live at 6 a.m. on YouTube and streaming on the Fan app.
Taking the art of sports radio and day drinking to a whole new level. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Just seeing this here in the last couple of minutes or so. Reflog retweeting this. Bernie Kosar, Browns legend, going in for surgery here momentarily. And I knew that Bernie health-wise was in a tough spot. And one of the really cool things of what I've gotten to do with the Browns over the years is getting to know him personally. And I know that he listens to this show, because he will text me oftentimes during it about things that we say, whether we're talking about the Browns or the Buckeyes or whatever. And he's down here in business a lot. And to see him in the shape he's in is just, it's so heartbreaking. But his spirit is just completely undefeated. And he's going in for a big surgery today. And I just wanted to give our thoughts and prayers with him and the support. Bernie Kosar, I think you could say, is more popular in Cleveland than maybe any athlete is anywhere. It's I suppose there's an argument for like Maradona in Argentina or Pele in Brazil, or it's a love affair that city and that fan base has with him, and Browns fans have with him. And the fact that he has paid it forward time and time again with the way that he is, the way he is with fans is just undefeated, and his enthusiasm is infectious. And he's tried to get the word out on some of the things that he did as a player that maybe led him to where he is from a health standpoint. I just love him. I love him to death. And I didn't grow up a Browns fan. I did not grow up around here, but getting to know him as I have with the Browns over the last 8-9 years or so, it's he's just the man. And I knew that it was getting a little bit dicey for him, but I didn't know that today was the day. So my thoughts and prayers with Bernie.
So he's on a short list of this athlete means the most to this region of the state. So half of my family's from Boardman, and that's where he played high school. And so his connection to just Northeast Ohio, or like to just a quarter of this state where he's, you can say like LeBron, it might be Bernie. Because it might be Bernie to a greater portion of people from Northeast Ohio, because it's generations. I mean, it's 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, even in the 90s and the 2000s, and even today. Like, he's just been so present in that part of the state and has meant so much to so many different people and so many different families who talk about him like he walks on water.
My first NFL football memories are those teams that unfortunately their seasons ended with the drive and the fumble. But Webster Slaughter, Reggie Langhorne, Brian Brennan, Ozzie Newsome, Bernie throwing to those guys, Kevin Mack, Ernest Biner, Hanford Dixon, Frank Minifield, the Dog Pound kind of originators there. Like those were my first football memories. I've said this on the show before. My dad hates Bill Belichick to this day because he ran Bernie Kosar out of Cleveland.
Yeah.
He'll never like Bill Belichick because of that. Just totally disliked him. And even though my dad is not a Browns fan anymore, he switched to the Buffalo Bills. He will never like Bill Belichick because of that. And listen, the Browns have not, outside of a flash-in-the-pan year from Jeff Garcia, Derek Anderson, the couple Baker years, the Browns have not had a good quarterback since.
No, and one of the things they say up there a lot is, he gets us. Like, they're big on that. He gets us, right?
Well, he is, to finish that phrase, he is us.
Yeah, and I think that's why he's the originator of that sentimentality, I believe. Because this is a Youngstown guy who goes to the University of Miami. He's told this story before. He's like the sixth-string quarterback. Like, Jim Kelly's down there. Vinny Testaverde's down there. And he plays his way all the way up. He wins a national championship at Miami, and then he rigged the system to go to the Cleveland Browns. It's where he wanted to play. Like, he's in Youngstown at a time where that is a fist fight between Steelers fans and Browns fans. Both those teams, I mean, the Steelers are coming off the 70s, but the Browns are really good at that time too. And he used the system to engineer playing for the team of his youth. Like, he picked it. He was going to be the number one pick in the draft no matter what. And I want to say if it was Houston or Minnesota, there was a team that sued the NFL to try to prevent it from happening because they wanted to draft him. And he waited till after the draft to declare his eligibility and used the supplemental draft to engineer his way to Cleveland. But that's the way that it's happened. But I think, like, to me, what Bernie represents to Browns fans is what Archie represents to Buckeye fans. There is a timelessness to them. There is a generational 100% approval rating of them. And almost like and I think maybe even more because Ohio State, we have so much success. I mean, Ohio State, there's one Archie Griffin. There's one. He won the two Heismans. But there's Eddie, and there's a bunch of other guys, and there's guys who won national titles. For Browns fans, it's singularly Bernie. And Zagura said this once, and Nathan, who's on the broadcast, which you can listen to here, and I thought this is kind of the best way to sum the Bernie experience up in regard to the Browns. Bernie Kosar is more popular with Browns fans than Joe Montana is to 49ers fans. And Joe won 4 Super Bowls. That's the approval. That's the approval he has. So I know he's in a tough spot, and I know he listens, and thoughts and prayers with him, and hopefully things go well up there today, and he's in a good spot because he is absolutely beloved and cherished by an entire state. All right, Cincinnati Bengals. Interesting. Joe Burrow press conference earlier this week. What is the timetable for all of this? We'll take the temperature of the Bengals with our buddy Mike Petraglia in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Ooh, winter's coming. And when the wind starts to blow, don't come inside to the cold. Open the door to peace of mind with your Waterworks and Header Precision Furnace Tune-Up and Energy Savings Plan. Your furnace is the heart of your home, and Waterworks and Header will have yours running at peak performance throughout the winter. Plus, you'll save on those energy bills too. Go to waterworks.com and schedule your furnace tune-up online. Waterworks and Header, heating, cooling, and plumbing. Together to serve you better.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you can save between 5 and 20%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. Visit amfam.com to learn more. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey friends, Beamer here, and I'm a big believer in saying thank you when something actually works. So thank you, Awaken 180. And they're actually saying thank you back right here in Ohio with $500 off every new program through Thanksgiving. I started around this time last year, dropped 65 pounds for the holidays, and 15 more in free maintenance. Awaken 180 works, and now's the time to do it with $500 off. Thank your new self when you're 30 or 80 pounds lighter with the medication-free solution for weight loss. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric, and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
Distilled sports discussion served in light beer quantities. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, let's get some perspective on the stretch run down in Cincinnati. And we talk Bengals. We sure love to do it with our buddy Mike Petraglia, host of Jungle Roar Pod, covers the Bengals at clnscincy.com. Mike, thanks very much for taking the time. Did you think you would start this week with Joe Burrow having a press conference and maybe a timetable that's a little sooner than certainly everybody up here thought?
I did not, Bo, to be honest. I was a little bit surprised. We got word when we arrived at Paycor on Monday that there's a release going out at 1 o'clock, and we're like, uh-oh, okay, did they make the long-anticipated, long-awaited coaching change, not with Zach Taylor, but maybe one of his assistants, or did they move on from Duke Tobin, the director of player personnel for the Bengals? Nope. We found out pretty much soon after 1 o'clock that it was Joe Burrow being activated. And then I thought to myself, Burrow has always been ahead of schedule and attacked the rehab of any injury incredibly aggressively. I know Jay Glazer reported that same thing, that Burrow just was a monster in rehab. So it's not, when you look at it from that perspective, Joe Burrow's history in rehab, it's not that surprising. What is going to be very interesting to watch is how Joe Burrow views this versus how the team views this. And a lot of that is going to depend on how the Bengals play in the next two games.
Well, yeah, Mike. If you're Mike Brown, what do you do here? Like, do you put him in harm's way?
Well, I mean, if he's a football player, and if he weren't hurt, just ask yourself, if he were not hurt and the Bengals were 3-6, would this be a discussion? No. So Burrow's perspective is, if I wasn't hurt and I'm back to full strength, what does it matter if I could get hurt again? I mean, in Burrow's mind, that's irrelevant. You can't go out on the field thinking you're going to get hurt.
Right.
From the Bengals' point of view, and this is more relevant, he's going to have and he admitted this on Monday, he's going to have a special instrument in his left shoe to protect against that freshly repaired tendon below his left big toe. And that being the case, I don't put him in harm's way in that regard if there's really nothing to play for. And that's where I think, Joe Burrow's got to be honest. He's got to tell the training staff, he's got to tell the coaching staff in the front office, if he is feeling anything at all in that foot that's not right, you sit him down immediately.
Absolutely. I mean, I think of if knowing Joe, and we've known him around here since he was 15, he's not somebody who I was thinking okay, well, you could do that, but then maybe if you could get him to play like how Rodgers has played, where the ball is out in a second and a half and he never scrambles and doesn't get hit, maybe you could try it that way, but that's not who he is.
No, and that's a great point. And, I said this yesterday, and I've written this. Joe Burrow is a remarkably gifted athlete. He's not just a pocket passer. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He is and Aaron Rodgers is a very mobile quarterback back in his prime. No question about that. I'm not saying he wasn't.
Sure.
Joe Burrow is an elite runner as a quarterback. And people don't appreciate that about his game as much because he does so many other things so well. But he can run, and he can make a lot of yards with his feet. And if his feet aren't with him, that's a major element out of his game. You know where we saw that? Start of the 2023 season when Burrow injured his calf. It was raining in Cleveland. He couldn't move. He wasn't mobile. It really hurt him, and it hurt the Bengals offense, obviously. They only scored 3 points that day. They don't want a repeat of that. And I think that's what everybody is pretty much on guard on with Joe Burrow.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about it is, and this is the other part of this, is he can't do much more than Joe Flacco's doing. I mean, they're scoring left and right. So he's not coming back to play defense, right, Mike? So that's really where the problems are.
Well, the other thing that's very interesting about what you just said, he does not play the position of quarterback the same way Joe Flacco does, and he doesn't run the offense the same way, which is another story altogether. Does Joe Burrow want to get back to kind of subconsciously remind himself, and everybody else for that matter, this is his baby. He is the father of this offense. He runs it. He's in charge. And what Flacco's done has been brilliant. It's been awesome. But it's a different offense with Joe Burrow in charge. And maybe Joe Burrow wants everybody to remember that. In your life, and you cover this league long enough, you see the damnedest things. But those two losses to the Jets and the Bears, my God, it feels like you got them both. If they win them both, you're 5-4. You got Burrow maybe coming back. Like everything that we talked about when Burrow went down would have been so much more in play. Now, because Pittsburgh hasn't separated, it's still not crazy, but it's a much more difficult task. Take me through that building after those two losses and maybe why they didn't do anything at the deadline. Well, I don't have the answer to the second question except to say the Bengals are very conservative. They're not an aggressive roster-building team, and they weren't in the offseason either when everybody and their brother knew they needed depth at safety. They needed to draft a safety. They needed to sign one in free agency. They did neither. So the lack of movement at the trade deadline was not a surprise to me. It shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, and it should be a bone of contention, quite frankly. The mood of the team after those two games was disastrous, and then after the Jet game, and then something worse after the Bear game. After the Bears loss, it was clear that it was all on the defense. And that's why Chase Brown said, just get a freaking stop. One stop, and we're in 22 formation, victory formation. And they couldn't. And I think there's a lot. The reason you don't look at the rest of the schedule with, this is a possible win, this is a possible loss, is they just lost to the Jets and Bears at home back-to-back. You can't assume anything the rest of the year because their defense has been so porous. The fundamental concepts of defense, they've been a failure. There's no question about that. And I think there's a lot of frustration with some of the players that Zach hasn't come down harder on players and hasn't, released any coaches or released any players, cut any players, or fired any coaches. There has to be accountability. This isn't high school football or college football. This is the NFL, and jobs are at stake. And I just think that the mood of a lot of the players in that building is, well, nobody's going to lose their job, so what does it matter?
Man, they made the change at defensive coordinator, obviously, from Lou to Al. Obviously, it hasn't worked. And obviously, they got personnel issues, too. But what have you seen from an Al Golden defense that would this have been better off just keeping Lou, or is this just talent?
That's a great question. In terms of talent, they are very, very needy of talent right now, and that's not Al Golden's doing. And the lack of playmakers, and it's severe. The only playmaker they really have on defense is Trey Hendrickson, and he's not available right now. He's doubtful for this week, by the way. That's their only playmaker.
Yeah.
And that's not Al Golden's fault. That's the fact that the Bengals don't have a general manager and do not have, like I said before, an aggressive roster-building approach on defense. But the problem with Al Golden is you're into Week 8 against the Chicago Bears, and your defense doesn't know where it's lining up. That is so unacceptable. And to Al Golden's credit, he admitted that. I've got to be better. My guys sometimes don't know where they're supposed to be. Well, I mean, come on.
NFL.
It is the NFL. That's why when you hear Bengal fans lose their mind and they hear that comment, and then Zach kind of sits behind the mic and says, we believe in everybody in this building. We know we have the talent. We know we have the coaches. Well, that's not what the end product is showing, Zach. And that, when you see all of this put together, it's a bad mixture right now. Joe Burrow coming back can certainly be a boost if he's Joe Burrow, and he's a leader. He can absolutely have a positive impact. But as you said at the top, he's not a linebacker. He's not a free safety. And, they're going to have to figure something out. If they can find a way to play with the lead in Pittsburgh, I think they have a chance. I really do. I know they blew leads against the Jets and Bears late. I'm fully aware of that.
Yeah.
But the Pittsburgh's in a mess right now themselves. And if you can play with the lead for most of the game, like they did against the Steelers on October 16th, yes, they trailed very, very late, but they came back and won the game thanks to Joe Flacco. If they can play with the lead, there is a path to a win in Pittsburgh on Sunday.
Mike, I'll get you out of here in this one. Is there, we all know how conservative they are with firing people and people getting keeping their jobs. And is there a scenario where Zach isn't back next year?
If they finish with 5 or 6 wins, Joe Burrow has a meeting with Katie Blackburn, Troy Blackburn, and Mike Brown and says, you guys got to change something here. It's not working. Yes, there's definitely a world where Zach Taylor is not back next year. And if he doesn't get a hold of the defense and doesn't get a hold of the locker room and doesn't hold people accountable with their jobs, he's not back. That's the scenario I see where he does not return in 2026.
Mike, you're the best, buddy. Thank you so much for your time. Greatly appreciate it.
Bo, my pleasure. Take care.
There he goes. Mike Petraglia, host of the Jungle Roar pod, covers the Bengals at clnscincy.com, and he joins on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Get you 3 things you're officially endorsed on this first Friday. Coming up next, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Picture this. You're halfway through a DIY car fix and boom, you're missing a part. It's okay because whatever it is, it's on eBay and it's guaranteed to fit every time. eBay, things people love.
The Daily Ryan Day Show is brought to you locally by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers and by Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination. The
was The Daily Show, brought to you by Safe Flight Auto Glass with Coach Ryan Day. Julian Sand puts together another 300-yard passing game, but is his mobility continuing to be an added asset here, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, his ability to move in the pocket is very important. He has good short area quickness and can feel the pocket. Doesn't look at it, but can feel it. But then also, you've seen him here in the last few games. We get him to break contain and get some things on the edge, get some movement passes going. It's all good. And it's one thing to be able to throw a ball, but certainly the mobility is critical. And whether it's extending plays or just moving in the pocket, that's important. So good to see him do that, and we're going to continue to build on that as the season goes on.
Okay, we'll have another comment in just a moment. Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safe Flight Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at SafeLight.com. Safe Flight Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace.
Buckeye fans, choose chill. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes those moments when you choose to rise above the noise and choose chill even better. Coors Light is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, so crack one open and take a sip. Coors Light, choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado, beer.
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
And looking back at the Purdue game, the running back production, as good a day as far as all of the backs combined with some of the things they were able to do, Ryan?
Well, we were definitely trying to make a point of giving these guys an opportunity to play. We ran it over 40, I think it was 46 times or whatever, and I just feel like they need to keep playing. They need to keep growing. They need to keep learning. And so that was great to get that many plays. I think on offense we played over 70 plays in this game, which was great. And so because of that, they were able to kind of grow from it. I mean, the first one I thought Bo did a great job. I know it got called back, but he really made the guy miss and went for a home run, 85 yards, and so that was a good sign and something to learn from. But Isaiah, James, CJ, they're all in there growing, and because we have four guys, it was good to get that many carries so that they all can get on the film and get better at them, because we're going to need them all, and we know how important the run game is and is going to be here over the next month or two.
Okay, this is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
For over 37 years, Buckeye Nation has known Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse for serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks are a staple in Columbus, with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. And just like the Buckeyes, we strive for excellence and an experience like no other. Hyde Park is proud to introduce the newly added wine room at our downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining surrounds you, creating the ideal setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Round here, it's all or nothing. And nobody has more all-wheel drive choices than Toyota. Now through December 1st, get 4.75 APR financing on any remaining new 25 RAV4 or RAV4 Hybrid. Or lease a new gas-powered RAV4 LE for $289 a month for 39 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Common Man here. Buy 2 windows and get 2 free and 36 months of 0% financing plus a bonus $1,000 off. Restrictions apply. Give them a call, 614-502-5220. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, It's a pepper thing.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Bo knows many people. He talks to the interesting ones on this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, Reese, what do we have on the poll today?
The Daily Fan Poll asks listeners to assume, which can be dangerous. Assuming you agree with the committee's ranking of Ohio State at number 1, who do you believe should be ranked number 2 in the CFP? Your options are Indiana and Texas A&M. 59% say Indiana.
Yeah.
41% say Texas A&M.
That's actually a little lower than I thought. I thought it might be higher, Big Ten pride and all. All right, it's a First Friday. Hit it, fellas.
Bishop and Friends present First Friday, officially endorsed because everyone deserves 2 Fridays.
Sponsored by Hydrate Me Med Spa. Feel better, recover faster, live optimized with Hydrate Me.
Drink for the wrong reasons. My generation, we drink because it's good. Because it feels better than unbuttoning your collar. Because we deserve it. We drink because it's what men do.
That voice is the voice of Roger Sterling from the AMC classic Mad Men, and one of the adult beverages that he would cocktail during the day was a little bit of the vodka. And if he were drinking it now, he would be drinking it from our great friends at High Bank. We mentioned this yesterday on the show, worth repeating and certainly worthy of your officially endorsed. High Bank Vodka voted best vodka in the world at the San Francisco World Spirits Competition. Best vodka in the world. Try it with a martini, try it with a twist. It's as clean a vodka. I would put that up against anything. The taste is so clean, so pristine, and now it's been validated in the biggest possible way. So good job out of all those guys at High Bank, Adam, the whole team, everybody. Good job out of you. It is certainly worthy of being the world's best vodka and absolutely good enough for your officially endorsed on this fine First Friday. Time for 3 things.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina, Central Ohio's largest selection of new and pre-owned boats. Find your next dream boat at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com.
Number 1 for me, I had teased this earlier, but something came up and weren't able to get to it. The NBA is reworking their All-Star game again. So they're going USA versus World, but for some reason they're going with 3 teams of 8. And then the commissioner can make it all work out if the numbers don't work. Here's a pretty easy solution. I actually think USA versus World might be pretty cool. You might get games where people actually care about it. It's pretty simple, though. Vote for the 10 best American-born players and vote for the 10 best world-born players. Have 20 guys, and that's it. That solves it in one fell swoop. And I do think if you did it, I don't think the idea is terrible. I think you will get some passion being played out if you do it that way. But when you do this 3 teams, 2 American teams of 8 each and 1 world team of 8, it's just utter nonsense. Just have them vote for 10 American-born players, 10 world-born players. That's it. That's the list. It's going to get you everything you want. It's not that hard.
And it does look like they're going to try to do it all on Sunday, February 15th. So you'll have the a 12-minute round robin, 4 games.
It's just stupid.
And then into the championship.
Play one game. 10, play.
That kind of dovetails into my first thing. I'll stay in the association, Bo, when you had mentioned Kentucky and Louisville last night at the KFC Yum Center. Well, Donovan Mitchell was in attendance, and some Cavs may be thinking, but wait, I thought he was going to be in Miami because, they played earlier this week in Miami. Well, now they're back against the Heat tonight at 7:30. Yeah, he's not playing. Neither is Darius Garland. Neither is Evan Mobley. So you can kind of skip Cleveland Cavaliers basketball tonight. I will.
Probably because a great Chris Quinn is still drawing up ball plays down there to win games at the end. They're scared of him. Don't want to have to deal with him again.
First thing for me, and I will stick, you talk about Chris Quinn in Dublin, Ohio. I will stick there as well. Chris Vanini of The Athletic has a great piece out right now on South Florida head coach Alex Golish, who is from Dublin Scioto High School, and his director of player development, Jeff Jones, who was his chemistry teacher and offensive coordinator at Dublin Scioto as well. I go over to The Athletic and read this. It's really cool. I feel terrible that I did not know this story before this year, and it's just really cool and a really awesome article. I suggest everyone go check it out.
Man, that's great. Number 2 for me, so NBC's got his first 8th grade basketball scrimmage tonight. So because we can't play any of the teams that we could possibly play in the regular season, we are scrimmaging a team 45 minutes away. How is the best use of anyone's time? Like, find one closer. Change the rules. Be smarter. What are we doing?
Second thing for me, and this kind of breaking in the last couple of minutes, but Cardinals wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. underwent surgery for appendicitis. He's out at least this week. Jonathan Gannon says that might be longer depending on how the route man takes to that surgery.
He's finally starting to get going a little bit with Brissett, too.
It's a bummer for him because, he was really starting to be the guy we knew here at Ohio State. Second thing for me, the annual Army-Navy game is December 13th this year, and Army released their uniforms for that game today. They're pretty cool. They're going to be all white. The script with the writing is really cool on the back of the jersey. They also have that same font for the numbers, which I'm guessing, coming from a broadcaster's perspective, might be a little weird to see. The one thing I'm kind of weirded out on here is that they have silver helmets. Now, Army's colors are black, gold, and gray. So that silver is going to be a little weird. But overall, I think the uniforms look pretty cool.
So they do such a great job with this. And then Under Armour will match with Navy. Okay. So this goes back to 1775 with the Army is what they're paying homage to. So, it is weird with them in the silver, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a little bit of a different look on that. Finally, number 3 for me, every Veterans Day they do it. Every Veterans Day it's undefeated. So as I'm watching Kentucky and Louisville last night, as an old school cable guy, what am I flipping to? AMC. Why? Because every year on Veterans Day, AMC plays Band of Brothers on a loop. And you can do a lot worse than that on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, it was an emotional Tuesday for your pal Eric. Ohio lost on the football field and on the basketball court. They got beat by 30 out at St. Mary's. They lost in Kalamazoo to Western Michigan, and it's probably curtains for Ohio's chances to repeat as Mid-American Conference champions. But I'll just say this, hoping to get it out of the atmosphere now. If Brian Smith wants to be the head coach of the Bobcats next season, I hope they offer him the ability to do so. I think he's the right guy for this program, but I could also see with so many other programs going open now and going to be open out on the West Coast, look for his name to be bandied about.
Mm-hmm.
Losing to St. Mary's on the basketball court, nothing to shake your head.
No, they're fine.
Yeah, they'll be good. Final thing for me, Rothman and Ice coming up next. A little Adam Schefter at 12:30, Bob Carpenter at 1:30.
And you have that to look forward to, which is nice. Make sure you act accordingly out there on your first Friday. We're back tomorrow. Bishop and Fred's right here on The Fan.
Matty Ice is currently bathing himself in creamy jalapeno dip. And I've officially run out of ways to tease this show. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan.